Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this show runs through the ages. Sinners and saints, goblins and haints, but beware as they say we're contagious. Sick with the truth, we uncover the lies. We beat on the drums as they march side by side. Wake up, my dear friends, and smell that fresh roast. Last night shall no longer exist. You're here by yourself, but you're never alone, as we spin stories you'll hear in the mist. Reptilians and greys, we folk who stay hidden. Mysterious booms, archaeology forbidden. Stay away from the village, keep off of the moors. There's a lady in white and bloodstains on the floor. So sit back and relax, take the load off your feet, as we're here to amaze, entertain, and complete. You see, my name is John, and Stacey's here too. And my, do we have something in store for you. Welcome to the Paranormal Sideshow with your host, authors of Till Death and Beyond, John and Stacey Edwards of ParanormalSideshow.com. Hello and welcome to the Paranormal Sideshow. I'm your host, John Edwards, and joined as always by my lovely wife, Stacey.
Hello.
And we are 100.
Sort of.
Yeah, I mean, we're 100 episodes in. Yes, official, baby.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, it's 100 episodes. It is our time. We've done it. We've had a lot more than 100 episodes, actually, just
we have
throughout the years on different things like Haunted South, Third Side.
Right, but this is 100 Paranormal Sideshow episodes.
Yes, but it's actually probably 150 Paranormal Sideshows. But
100 official episodes.
100 official episodes. Judges, we've got the judges over here.
Oh.
It's 100 episodes, correct? Dang, that Russian judge.
Did he deduct you?
Oh, hold on a sec. He says we have 99 episodes. Just give me just a moment, okay? This is kind of awkward. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Once I'm elected, you tell Vladimir. Okay. Yeah, it's 100.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah,
awesome.
We're good. 100 episodes. Listen, it's been one hell of a ride with everybody here. We love you so much.
Yes.
And it's been a lot of fun, man. I mean, we have went from seriousness to comedy to seriousness to I think
you
we
forgot
got comedy.
Ridiculousness, I think, is in there somewhere.
That it is in there somewhere. Quite a bit, actually. But, through it all, we have had moments of teaching and moments of treasuring and moments of bizarreness. But we've also followed a whole lot of crazy stories. And the cool thing is all of you have followed our journey.
Yes.
And that's what this is all really about. And it's also about we need distractions. I don't know why. I just feel like there's something we need to help distract people from.
Yes.
I don't know,
but it just feels like everybody needs like an escape.
Yeah, it's like I don't know exactly what from.
I'm not sure.
But it seems like whatever it is, we're not going to talk about it because it's probably the last thing anybody wants to talk about. I just don't know exactly what it is.
Oh, well, I'm sure they know what we're talking about.
Well, normally this is where I usually start talking about my schedule, what's coming up, what we're going to be. It's kind of open. Like,
it is.
Like I'm looking here and there's a lot of things marked out. I don't know why.
I don't know. A lot of rescheduling. People just had things come up, I guess.
It had to be something like that. But because of that, I do want to say we are going to make a little thing it's not too common for us. We're gonna bring you an episode every week, and it's needed. We feel like right now we need to bring you an episode every week, and they will not be as long as 7 hours and all that because we're also doing Spaced Out Radio.
We are. We started last Saturday.
Yeah, absolutely. Spaced Out Radio Saturday is our gimmick. That's our deal. And you can find it on spacedoutradio.com. You can also find it on the Spaced Out Radio YouTube and all those good places. But you know where else you can find it?
Where else?
On terrestrial radio stations.
You can. And this is your opportunity to hear John and I live.
Oh yeah.
No editing.
Join the chat room. You can chat with us. You can hashtag.
You could. We wouldn't know.
Yeah.
Please don't tell us about it in the chat room.
Or you can use the hashtag Spaced Out Radio. And,
yes, on Twitter.
Right. While you're listening, you can talk to us, and we'll see you there, and we'll say, hey, how you doing there?
Yeah, we monitor the Twitter and the chat room.
Yeah,
the whole time.
we've got we're like Tony Stark up in this thing. We've had to change so many things in here. We've got little studio deals and all kinds of like monitors and things. So a lot of fun. And the cool thing, it's live. We have a guest on there. Our first guest was friends of ours, Bill and Amy.
Yes.
Lancaster.
Yes,
and
talking all about the Bigfoot.
Yeah, the Bigfoot in their latest release in their trilogy of footness. Because we love their documentaries, by the way. You do need to go out of your way to see them. The
They're
new
on
one,
Amazon.
yeah, the new one is Native Bigfoot, and it's fantastic. We got an advanced copy of it, and it's really, really good. So it's just one of those things that the next episode, which should be right about now for those of you listening,
right?
To this, if you're listening right when this comes out, Saturday night, for us that's tomorrow, but. You know how this works, timey-wimey and all that.
Yep.
Tim Woolworth, who has been on this show before, will be on the show with us talking all about ITC communication, all about ghost boxes, all about plagiarism, all kinds of fun stuff that he'll talk about. But it's really cool, great opportunity for us to, spread the brand and sow our oats. And well, maybe not sow our oats.
Maybe
but,
not.
Yeah, you never know. I mean, there could be a convention.
It is fun. It's fun to do, though.
Yeah, it is fun, and it's cool because of the tension with the live, part. We have the hard breaks. We have, it's 3 hours.
I'll tell you the hardest thing for the very first time we ever did it. I thought we did pretty good, and we hit all of our breaks, but the hard part was really hitting those breaks because you just have to stop. You have to stop talking, and that's kind of hard for us.
Well, basically, it was harder to tell someone that we like to shut up.
We even warned them ahead of time.
It's like, we don't want to tell you to shut up, but look, if you're talking, we're going to have to be like, just a little bit, just try to, but something cool that we did do, we did do a nice little talk there at ETSU.
Yes.
And I know we talked about that coming up, which is for those of you muggles out there who do not know what ETSU is, East Tennessee State University. They do have state universities in East Tennessee. Well, one. And like everybody goes there.
Yep.
But it's cool. There's some haunted buildings there. We've investigated them. And our good friend, Franny Miller. Oh, my God. She's like, the friend of friends. You just don't know. And maybe you do know if you're a patron and you've listened to Haunted South.
That's right.
Then you've heard her talk about haunted theaters. And, good friend of ours, she has brought me in there 3 times now. Sometimes it's been over like a computer screen, but still yet, get to talk to the students. That's always fun. I love seeing, all the faces of people that don't know whether they should be afraid of me or, really entertained by me. So that's why I always have Stacey there as the eye candy. It's like, look at the pretty girl. It's all good.
I thought this talk was really good because now Franny, she always teaches really cool classes, and this particular one was about UFOs and just all that paranormal. She crammed a bunch of paranormal stuff in there together, but the main focus of it is UFOs. And the kids in the class were like really engaged and asked really good questions. Yeah,
it was alien abductions and what I was speaking on. So that was pretty cool. But we went into ancient technology and all this thing because they're covering all of that. Basically, they're covering a few ancient alien episodes, like if you wanted to get right technical with it. But speaking of that, so one of the students that hung around after the class, you're really nice kid, and he wanted to just have a couple of questions that he posed there, and he was talking to Franny about some things. He's like about when an assignment was due or things like that, and then he's like, I was thinking. This was crazy. I thought I was on Candid Camera or something. He was like, I've got a theory, and this all boils down to Stacey telling one of our UFO experiences that we've had where we didn't remember it after it happened, directly after it happened. And it was not, recollected by us until we had this other time coming off the same exit.
Right, like something triggered it.
And yeah.
Then we remember
Well, it triggered it, like being at the same place. And
right.
Stacey's like, isn't this where we had that? And it's like, oh my God, I can't believe that we haven't talked about that. We didn't talk about it when we got home. We didn't talk about it on the show. Mm-hmm. All this stuff, right? So we told that story and how weird it was that there was kind of like a memory wipe. Mm-hmm. And that's the only way you could put it. That's what it was. So this kid was sitting there thinking about this, and you could tell he had this other part of his theory the whole entire time. So it goes in with a lot of my theory. So he was like, I was just thinking, what if we had ancient humans before the last cataclysm, mm-hmm. before 10,500 years ago, and maybe there was this, high technology, and they had energy, and they had electricity, they had in their own form. Mm-hmm. They had weapons. Atlantis was real, and it was actually, there. He's like, I really want to explore the continental shelf area. And because that's what got flooded whenever the cataclysm happened. Now, if you want to believe that it was the sun, some kind of burst from the sun that made everything dust, or if you and that proof is there, right? It's in there. If you dig down far enough, you're going to find this layer of ash all over the entire world. Or if you want to think that something just melted the glaciers and that flooded everything, like a comet or whatever, however you want to think about asteroid, and that's fine. So he was talking about that, and he said, I firmly believe that we had that high technology. There's a lot of proof there, and I'm sitting there getting, I'm getting excited already. I'm like, okay, that's what we talk about all the time. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And this kid had not listened to our show, by the way. So he gets to that, and he's like, but what if, and this kind of explains it for me, what if the aliens, like, we worked with them and they were around. We knew they were around. They knew we were around, but our technology could wipe them out.
Right. Like we were too advanced.
Mm-hmm. So kind of, sort of not seeing it coming, they blew our ice caps up or whatever, they wiped us out, dude. And they used their little memory deal to literally make us forget who we were. Because Graham Hancock famously says we are a species with amnesia. Mm-hmm. And, that was like the way he said it, the way he put it out there, just matter of fact, it blew all of our minds. It was really funny. We were all looking at each other, and it was like, yeah.
Like, oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, Trevor. And that's really cool, or whatever his name was. And if he's listening right now, I just want you to know that was really cool. And if anybody from that class is listening right now, thank you. And I hope you enjoyed the book. So yeah, I gave everybody a copy of the book in there, mm-hmm. Which was just in case we went in there and sucked.
It was a bribe.
Truth be known, if you go in there and suck and then you're like, oh, hey, by the way, we got a book. It's free. Students and free book is something they don't hear very much.
That's exactly right.
So, I figured, well, that will really
get cover all the bases.
Yeah, absolutely. So it was pretty cool. Everybody was real excited. Very nice. And of course, they're smart kids anywhere. They wouldn't be in there.
Right.
That's my kind of place, my kind of class. But I'll tell you, I don't know, like I said, what all this distraction stuff is, but we have a very special 100th episode lined up for people, a very different sideshow episode. It's not following our normal format, right. But I do have to say, before we start getting into that and our little special that we have, I have to say, man, my hashtag Bruce Wayne job has been rather taxing lately, and I can't really put my finger on why. It's almost like everything's up and I don't know. Just different.
It's weird.
It's been a weird time, It's been like a weird week. It's almost seems like there's something, huge and elephant room kind of thing.
Right, right.
But maybe not.
Maybe it's our imagination.
Maybe, But it seems like it's been even taken away from my hashtag. Little mommy daddy time.
Right.
I don't know. But speaking of hashtags, I do have to say, if you want to find out a little bit about hashtags, do you know what you need to do?
What do we need to do?
You need to go to ParanormalSideshow.com. That's your address to find out everything hashtaggy. Wide open NSFW hashtag, and that is. On Facebook.com, it's /ParanormalSideshow, a little low-key hashtag. On the Twitter, it's @Sideshow97. I'm telling you, baby, that is coming for you. Hashtag on the side. Instagram is hot hashtag damn. John and Stacey Edwards. You can go there and find.
They'll ban you for the hashtags there.
Go find out all kinds of stuff. Amazon.com. That's where you can find our book, Till Death and Beyond. Go there and read up until you get another one from us. Mighty soon, as in probably a year. If you would like to become a patron, you can go to Patreon.com, and we got different levels for different level-y people. And hashtag loving people. People who don't love hashtagging. It's all up to you, but that's why it's your patron niche on Patreon.
Yes, I think that's how it works.
Something like that, yeah. And also, we are available on iHeartRadio, Spotify, Stitcher, iTunes, Google Play, even YouTube.com for you people that are too lazy to look up a podcast place. But no, a lot of people like going to the Paranormal Sideshow YouTube, and that's all you have to look up to find it. But I do want to say a shout out.
Oh, okay.
A little shout out to a new patron.
Yay, new patron.
Yeah, like brand new, brand spanking new as far as time of recording. And that would be Mr. Sean Hicks.
Ah, Sean.
So
Thank you very much, Sean.
This is the official Stacey shout out.
Oh, shout out to Sean Hicks. Thank you, Sean.
There you go.
For becoming a patron.
That's it. Sean, thanks so much. We do appreciate it, and we like giving a little shouty do.
You'll be getting some goodies in the mail.
Yes, you will. And now it's about that time for some. No, it ain't. We ain't going to do no news.
Oh, wow. You just sort of laid that out there. That's a big shocking thing.
Yeah.
No news.
Yeah.
It's because we really, it's a special episode. It's 100th episode. We kind of bounced around a lot of ideas. What to do for our 100th episode.
Really, what were some of those ideas?
Well, we talked about, maybe doing 100 of the best stories we've ever done.
Mm-hmm.
But we've been doing this podcast for years, and that would be very time consuming, and they wouldn't get the 100th episode for a while.
Probably like 100 years.
Yeah, probably. And let's see, what else did we think about doing? We thought about doing a list. Didn't we think about trying to do some sort of top 100 list?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that would have taken a very long time.
Johnisms.
Because I remember doing the 50, with the 50 states, and that took quite some time.
Yeah, that was we weren't not supposed to ever mention that again.
Oh, sorry. But we did finally settle. John had a great idea.
Ah, yeah, of course I had a good idea.
And we settled on an awesome episode.
Yeah, so what this is just cool. All right, so I have a list, and Stacey has a list. Mm-hmm. Now, in this episode, you're going to find out things that are shocking.
Maybe. I'm pretty convinced that nothing we do is going to be shocking to our regular listeners.
You're going to find out things that are exciting. You're going to find out all the things you were ever wanting to know, but we're afraid to ask.
Because we're going to ask them, aren't we?
We are going to ask them. I have a list that Stacey has not seen.
Mm-hmm. And I have a list that John has not seen.
And together, we have two lists that we have not seen. So I'm going to ask Stacey a question off my list. And then she, in turn, is going to ask me a question off her list. Mm-hmm. And we are bound by a contract to answer these. So it doesn't matter.
He's not lying. He made me sign a contract.
It doesn't matter how silly, how weird, how personal, how ooh la la the question is. We're going to answer it. Mm-hmm. And we, wanted something cool for the 100th episode. Mm-hmm. So these are the 100 questions you were always wanting to know, but we're afraid to ask.
I like that. Okay.
All right. So how are we going to find out who goes first?
Let's just use our tried and true method we always use.
Rock, paper, scissors?
That's right.
All right. We're not even going to pause this, are we?
No, we're just going to rock, paper,
all right,
scissors
here
here.
Here we go, folks.
You ready? One. Oh, my God. He wins. And, it's funny. I used paper, and I don't know why I used paper, because he always does scissors first. Always. I know this.
Really?
Yeah, because Ariana does the same thing.
Oh.
Play rock, paper, scissors with Ariana, but first thing she'll throw is scissors. You always do, too. I shouldn't have told you that, but you do.
Well, I mean, obviously it doesn't matter.
All right, so you win, so you get to pick whether you go first or not.
Well, yeah, I'm absolutely going first.
All right.
All right. So, first question.
Mm-hmm.
What is the one location you would investigate over any other?
Ooh, one location I would investigate. Like I could pick anywhere. Doesn't have to be like one that offers
Right.
investigations. All right. The one location I would investigate over all others would be Buckingham Palace.
Really?
I think so. I think there's some secrets in there.
Oh, I'm sure there's secrets in there.
And some hauntedness.
Well, yeah.
It's amazing and beautiful and huge. You could investigate that thing for weeks and not be done.
Right. I mean, I get that. I could see Tower of London. That would be kind of interesting. Or the Bastille. Something like that. Buckingham Palace, I think you're going to find some things in there you might know. Don't open the closets. Just saying. Don't open the closets. Avoid certain brothers' rooms.
Right.
Things like that.
I'm assuming all the people would be gone.
Well,
and I would just be in there alone.
Yeah, I'm assuming they might be soon anyway. Okay, well, that's a great answer.
All right, you ready for your first question?
I am.
All right. So what is the funniest thing that's ever happened to you on an investigation?
Wow. The funniest thing that's happened to me or the funniest thing for people around me?
Either. Just something funny that happened on an investigation. Something, the funniest thing you can remember.
Well, the funniest thing that's ever happened to me is in the book. And that's when I had horrible Taco Bell gas.
Oh, yes.
And I was trying to hide it. I did not want these girls to know that I had the Taco Bell gas. Mm-hmm. This was 2004, 2005. And we were dealing with one of the most severe hauntings I've ever dealt with in my career.
Very serious situation.
I mean, I'm not playing, guys. This was a serious situation, and it was doing all the characteristics of a severe poltergeist haunting. Mm-hmm. Just scary, straight up scary. Moving objects, throwing things, door slamming, and I thought I'd go over to the side. I almost had to crap myself. I'm just telling you, it was bad. I could feel it. Like it was either going to be wet or it was going to be just happening, and there was nowhere else to go. So this door had slammed, and I mean, it was bad. It was scary, but not as scary as me crapping my pants in front of all these people.
Right.
So we were all in the dark, and I'm like, let me go and check that out. So
I'll be brave.
I walk over to this place away from, these people and these soul sisters, I think is what I call them. They all were psychics or whatever. So I go over there and I just kind of let it come out. Just like,
Do you like the very quiet?
Oh man. I did everything but pull my cheeks apart. so cause you can do that, try to get the air only where it's like,
I like letting the air out of a balloon.
Yeah, so it works. Otherwise, you get that bassy like.
You get the butt cheeks flapping sound.
Right. Mm-hmm. So I'm over there and I let it out, and let me just tell you, oh my God, it was the most rancid, horrific, deep intestinal gut problem.
Did you actually eat Taco Bell?
I did, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
A lot of Taco Bell a day after pulling it all, not drunk.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, it was rough. Mm-hmm. It was rough. It's back when I drank, obviously.
Right.
So oh God. It was, I'm just telling you, it may have been the worst fart I've ever smelled in my life. So I'm standing there, I'm like, oh my God, and I'm getting ready. I'm trying to get it off my clothes before I walk away.
Is it just sticking to you?
All of a sudden, here comes all those girls.
Oh no.
And I mean, they are just headed, quickly toward and they get over there. There's nowhere for me to go.
Right.
There is absolutely nowhere for me to go. And the girl gets over there and she's just like, oh my God. Oh God. Oh, Cindy, do you smell that? And she's like, I do. And they were just selling. And I was like, oh my God. And I didn't know what to do. I know I was flushed if they could have seen me. And I put my head down, and they were just getting louder and louder. They're like, it's demonic, and they were like, do you smell that sulfur? And I'm like, oh my God, I do. Oh my God. Oh, wow. That is straight sulfur. I have never, is that what that means? And they were like, that means it's a demon. I was like, oh, dear God, that's got to be from the 9th level of hell. And I just poured it on as thick as I possibly could.
Right.
And I was like, I don't feel good being here. I need to get away.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And they just stayed over there. They called other people over there, and they were like,
They're all inhaling your fart.
They're like, do you smell that? And all I could think about is all the little poo follicles that they say are in a fart, and everybody's like
poo follicles,
getting that up in their nose. And so yeah, that was it's kind of
so it was funny for you.
Funny for me.
It's funny now.
It's kind of a two-parter though, because the funniest thing that's ever happened would be there's people that's been on teams with me that would argue this.
Right.
We had a problem with one of our night vision cameras. This is a whole nother night, obviously, about 3 years later.
Right.
We're at Waverly Hills Sanatorium. And we had a pretty large team. But they were like, John, could you go down? Could you go down to the 2nd floor? We were base camp on the 3rd floor, I think. And they're like, can you go down to the 2nd floor and check out this camera? And so I'm by myself. But they can see me on a camera that's facing this direction. The camera I'm checking is facing the other direction, right?
Okay, so they can see your back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they can see my backside.
Okay.
So I'm going down there and, trying to fix the camera, see why it's not working.
Right.
And I am literally bent over, okay? And something just, I don't know. I guess it was, at the time, the only thing in my head was a ghost had done something bad to me. Because out of nowhere, I get the most like donkey punch, just boom, right in my butthole.
You being diddled by a ghost?
This was more than diddle. This was more than diddle. This was, I got hit hard.
Right.
And I screamed like the top of my lungs, because it was already quiet.
Right.
I'm in Waverly Hills by myself on the floor. I'm bent over and something goes up my butt. I'm sorry, but I was just like, and I'm freaking out, and I take off dead. I just have to be honest.
Right.
I took off running. And
I'm only laughing because I know the end of the story.
So
it doesn't sound funny yet.
I run down the hall, I run up the steps, and of course I'm just running to get my equipment, right?
Right.
So I get up there and I'm like, oh my God. And everybody in that room is all huddled around the TV camera. Tim Clark's got the biggest ass-eating smile on his face that I've ever seen in my life. Everybody's laughing. Most of these people I don't even know. Like when you get to place the first time, you bring people you don't even know just to help split the cost.
Right.
So we're in there and they're all out. And guess what happened? Well, apparently there's bats at Waverly Hills.
Yes, there are.
And they were attracted for some reason to my butt. So a bat that you could see on film flew right into my bunghole. Just right.
I'm sure it wasn't fun for the bat either.
It was you could see it, and then obviously I'm just here to say that I'm going to defend myself on that,
right?
And say that I dare anybody.
If I even knew a bat was flying at me, I'd run and scream like that.
Well, but if you don't know what it is.
Yes, that's true. I feel bad for the bat. Don't they have some kind of like sonic thing
will
going
you
on?
Stop with the whole bat thing? Maybe the paranormal, maybe it was influenced by a ghost.
Oh,
aren't you the one?
Possessed bat.
You always say that.
That's true. I do. It's funny. I was thinking about you and your first story with the fart, and I'm wondering if that's why we don't, like when we use the thermal camera, why you don't ever want to be on the thermal. You're like, don't point the thermal at me.
No, I don't want okay. Next question.
All right.
If you could only use one piece of gear ever again, what would it be and why?
One piece of gear.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Oh, I'm torn. My favorite piece is obviously the Ovilus. I love that.
Right.
I love the Ovilus, and I would want to have that if that was the only thing. But really like having a recorder, obviously, to record. So I'm kind of torn, but I'd probably have to go with the obelisk.
Yeah, I mean,
I could write down what, it has a record of what it says.
Right.
So, it's sort of a record.
Yeah.
So, yes, I think it would have to be an obelisk.
Okay.
The newer one, it tells you what it's saying, so you don't have to work it out for yourself.
Yeah, I got you. And I figured that's what it would be.
All right, next question for you. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so what is one place in the entire world that you must absolutely see in person with your own eyes before you die?
Ancient Egypt.
Yes, absolutely. I agree with you. I want to go.
I've got to explore Egypt.
Yes.
And I have to touch things and feel things and
not just look at it in pictures.
No, I mean, part of me is like Göbekli Tepe and all this, but that's still it's not all completely out yet.
Mm-hmm.
And neither is Egypt, but
right.
I want to stand before the Great Pyramid and just feel that power.
I honestly wasn't sure if you were going to go the Egypt route or if you were going to do something in the Arctic with the Northern Lights.
No.
Because I know you really want to see those too.
Yeah, I do, but I'll live there someday.
I gotcha.
All right, next question for Stacey. Mm-hmm. What mystery really grabs you? When you hear anything on it, you are compelled to listen.
Oh, wow. There's so many. Honestly, it's funny because, it seems like when I'm looking up mysteries and I'm watching mysteries, I always end up back at the Dyatlov Pass.
Really?
Mystery. Well, and I watch the documentaries and I read I just find it so interesting and odd. But I don't know, because I really like mysteries where things are not translated, like things like the Voynich manuscript, stuff like that. Really super fascinated with that. Like I've always wanted to be able to do code breaking and stuff like that. So it's really a tough decision between those two. Those are the two that I really read about the most.
Well, no, that's really cool. I mean, you do talk about Dyatlov quite a bit.
It's not my fault. It's in the news a lot.
I think you'd like to be the one that solves that, probably. So, good stuff.
All right. So your next question is: do you have any superstitions? Like, do you knock on wood or?
I really don't.
Do you not? You don't follow any?
I don't follow any superstitions. I don't. I mean, really, I may. Joke around that I better not change my pants or something like that. But no, I don't have any superstitions. I just really don't.
No, I mean, that's cool too. I know a lot of people that do, we watch Deadliest Catch, and those guys are all full of superstitions, sailors and stuff where they're knocking on things and doing dances and stuff like that. So just curious if you had any little weird, quirky superstitions.
No, it's like one of the few things I don't. Next question for you, my dear. Mm-hmm. What is your opinion on Egypt? Do we just accept it all, or what do you think about Egypt? I mean, is it
my opinion on Egypt is that it has been there much, much longer than we've been around. Like, it was not something that us in this lifetime have, like, not lifetime, but this incarnation of humankind.
Right.
It was there when we got here. It was there from before. It's something we don't understand and probably are not going to understand. And I think it's way more mysterious and ancient than anybody. I mean, somebody maybe knows, but way, way, way more intricate than what we know.
I totally agree with you. Mm-hmm. I think there's a whole lot more to it than we're even given credit for.
Yes, I agree. All right, so let me ask you your next question.
Okay.
All right, so this is just a general get to know you question. So what is your favorite comfort food?
My favorite comfort food is specific. It is Ridgewood barbecue. Only Ridgewood barbecue. Right. Which is a little joint in Tennessee. Mm-hmm. It is nestled in the mountains. It has been there for 50 years, 70 years. It's been there a long time.
Long time, several generations.
I went there since I was a little chitlin. Mm-hmm. And my whole family used to go there, and it's not extravagant. When you go there, you're going to see flies, and you're going to be okay with it. Mm-hmm. It's you let the flies pull up a seat, eat with you. It is the absolute best, greatest barbecue, and they make their own sauce. Mm-hmm. They have their smokehouse right there. It's the best thing. It's just amazing. So yes, I want it right now.
Now that we've talked about it.
Yeah, it's
Sorry, we still have a whole lot of questions to get through.
It's a food that actually makes me happy to think that I'm going to have it.
People can look it up. I think they were featured in magazines and stuff.
Oh yeah,
for how good their barbecue is.
They've been in magazines, but it's the only food that I can honestly think, because I'm really I like food, but I could go without it.
Right.
And you know how I can eat the same thing for weeks. I eat it to survive. I don't really care. I'm not much of a foodie.
That's true.
I could be a foodie, I guess, but I'm just not that fascinated with it.
Right. Like we don't plan our whole day around what we're going to eat or where we're going to go.
I'm big on commitments, and food doesn't, seem to want to stay around.
I have to say the only thing that we like to do is when we're traveling, we like to hit a local place.
Yes.
Like we don't want to do a McDonald's in another town where we could get that here. We want a mom and pop place. We want the local flavor.
We like to try things.
Yes.
And that's a whole different thing. But yes, Ridgewood barbecue.
All right.
And your next question, pretty simple here.
Okay.
Do you believe in mermaids?
Ooh. Is this just a straight yes or no, or can I explain?
You can explain.
I am going to say yes, but I don't know that they're exactly what, like the legends say they are. Like perhaps, I think they're more paranormal, more like fairies than actual creatures. I think that there are creatures in the sea that have been mistaken for mermaids because people have really seen mermaids.
Right.
Just that real mermaids are more of a supernatural, fairy, ethereal type entity.
Right. I got you. I mean, too many people have seen them.
Oh, absolutely.
And sailors used to swear by it. But we also know that there are certain creatures out there, animals, whatever you want to call them, fish, that look like, and I can't think of the name of it right now, but there is one they've said many times.
Right.
We think that's probably what they were seeing.
Right, because it's some kind of weird fish that has a bend in its like body that looks like knees, maybe.
There's somebody pulling the Jeopardy right now and is yelling at the radio.
They're like, that's a blob.
Yeah, that's a blobfish.
It's not a blobfish. Blobfish are hilarious.
Blobfish. All right, so next question for you.
No, my turn.
Oh.
You just asked me to mermaid question.
Sorry. Go ahead.
All right, next question for you. And that is, what do you think is the most believable conspiracy theory? Something that is considered a conspiracy theory, but you think there's enough evidence that it is absolutely 100% true.
JFK. JFK was murdered by the government.
That one is pretty believable, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And no, I'm not going to go into that one.
Yeah, no, I don't think you need to.
But the problem is, I could list 10 that I totally believe there's enough evidence.
Well, give me another one. What's another one?
The aliens.
No, okay. That's very true.
Yeah. If I go further, we might have somebody knock on the door.
Yeah, we should stop
right there. So you don't want me to do the third one, because the third one has to do with jobs and whether or not they're inside.
Right.
So
I understand.
All right. So next question for you.
Okay.
Not quite as controversial.
Okay.
By the way, that's on Dave Scott's list for things I can't say on Spaced Out Radio.
But we can say that on Paranormal Sideshow.
That was on page 1.
Yes, in big bold letters.
John, let me talk to you about some things we'd rather you not say on Spaced Out Radio.
It's because he knows you. It's because he knows you. All right.
Oh, what, in your opinion, is actually going on with extraterrestrials?
Wow, that's a broad question. What's going on with extraterrestrials? All right, so I believe that there are aliens and that they have been here for a long time. I think that they live among us and we don't know it. Some people know it. As a general public, we're not being told. And I think that they have a bigger influence on the world than what you would like to believe.
Right.
Or are comfortable with.
I understand.
I don't really have any other theories. I don't know, like I couldn't tell you where I think they're from, just space somewhere. Like I don't know. I know some people are like, oh, they're this star system or this star system. I think there's more than one race. I think there's several different races. Some are good, some are bad, just like humans.
Right.
But I don't think that their ultimate goal is to always help us.
Right.
So.
No, I understand. And it's interesting because a lot of times when we put our opinion out there, I'm in the driver's seat.
Right.
So I like this because it's really getting your honest opinion. So I do love that because, of course, they're very similar, right? So far, I've not heard one of your opinions that I don't share.
No, that's true. That's true. We do agree on quite a lot of things.
And I mean, we do the research together and see the same thing. So, all right,
All right, I'm up. So your next question is, what is the scariest thing you've ever seen, like paranormally? Scariest thing.
Wow, that's deep, man. Well, the scariest thing I've ever seen paranormally is something I've never talked about on here before.
Oh, okay.
So the scariest thing is I was visited for a few weeks by a hat man.
Oh, I do remember this, yes.
It was tall, thin, black shadow man, had a hat. And of course you hear about that in lore, you hear about that happening. I've never told friends. I've never told anybody out in public, if you will.
Right.
But that's the scariest thing because I would be in bed and you would be with Ariana or you would be asleep and I would see this thing and you don't scream, you don't do anything, especially after all these years. I just take it as it comes, man.
Right.
And just let it play out.
Was it like a sleep paralysis kind of thing? No, just saw it in the room.
No, I mean, if it was the scariest thing that's ever happened to me, it would be the sleep paralysis.
Right, but no, I wanted the scariest thing you've ever actually seen.
Yeah.
Oh, very interesting.
All right, so next question for you. You get to ask 3 questions of the Vatican Library.
Ooh.
And those 3 questions you ask, they'll give you the book that gives you the answer. And translate whatever. Okay, you got full reign here, but you get to ask 3 questions of the Vatican Library. What are the 3 questions?
Oh, wow. All right, so first of all, I'm definitely going to ask the alien question because I think they have some information there about the aliens. So definitely going to, get all into that. I am going to ask about our past, our history, where we come from, if the timeline's correct. What kind of things are they hiding about our true origins?
Right.
And the third thing I'm going to ask, it's either going to be about giants, which may fall in the past category, so I may already know that, or I'm going to ask about the Vatican itself and all the weird, evil-looking stuff that's going on in there.
Right.
Because that place is weird.
Those are great questions.
Yes.
I think I would personally go a little bit more. I think my first question would have to be more religious based. I think I would have to ask about some the Bible and the books that are in there, the books that are not in there, and what are we missing?
Right. Which parts do they still have that
we
haven't seen? That's good. That's a good question.
But because they have something. Right.
Yeah, I'm sure.
They wouldn't have a secret library.
Right. If they weren't trying to keep something secret.
Right.
That's the whole point. All right. So your next question. So this is about you and your songwriting.
Okay.
So, you've written hundreds of songs, done it your whole life. Which one song that you've written is your absolute favorite?
Oh.
I know. It's like picking your favorite star in the heavens, isn't it?
Oh my gosh. Wow. Burned.
Oh, I love that one.
It's one of the only songs that I ever wrote so personally. And, really, I wrote a lot of hypothetical, or I wrote a lot of, hidden meanings. And as much as I seem like an open book to people and get told by people that I'm an open book, I am opening a book that I want you to read. The real book is locked in my Vatican library.
Gotcha.
And that real book never comes out. Never. It's well guarded. Burned is one of those that was from the vault.
I'd like to find a video of you singing that, 'cause that's not one that was on the album, because that was a later song.
Yeah, it was recorded for an album.
I know. But I'm sure I have it on video of you doing it live, though. All right, your turn.
Okay. Did Jeffrey Epstein kill himself?
No. I'm just going to give you a no on that.
Okay.
Not even 100% convinced he's dead.
Yeah, me either.
So, that's a whole nother rabbit hole, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So let's see. Let's do, where do you want to retire one day?
Scandinavia.
So there's where the Northern Lights come in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yep.
so somewhere in Scandinavia. I would like it to be somewhere remote, small little town,
Right.
and everybody knows everyone. You've got just what you need there. You're going to have even one of the places where it's dark for 6 months or something, like something that's a real adventure, a true adventure for us.
Yeah.
And I just really want that small town that's isolated, and we have the warm cabin or whatever that's
Right.
cozy, and and we're there to be able to look at the stars unimpeded, like just beautiful.
I would totally live in a Call of the Wild style cabin, like was in that movie.
Yeah. Great movie, by the way.
It's a very good movie.
All right, next question for you. Do we live in a computer simulation?
I'm only laughing because that question's on my list too. I am going to say no, I don't think that we live in a computer simulation. I could be terribly, terribly wrong. But maybe I'm just hoping we don't. But I'm going to say no. But since I had that on my list, I guess your next question can be, do you think that we live in a matrix, is what my question was worded as.
I believe that there is proof. You could look at it as proof. Let's say factors that you could look at, indicators that would suggest the possibility is there that we live in a matrix. Even things such as bleed through.
Right.
Spirits.
I guess the time glitches.
Time glitches. Spirits could just as easily be the body that's laying right next to us. It could be anything like that. It could be where we're all connected together, and you're hearing these things, and even like with reincarnation, right? This could all be part of the process,
right?
And I could see where that could happen. Sometimes we see glitches in the sky. Sometimes we have glitches on the moon. And there's a lot of things that don't make sense about the universe. So all in all, my answer is no. Even with all those things.
Right.
I have to say, based on my communication that I have been gifted to have, and the things that I know, things that I've seen, no, we do not live in a computer simulation, as much as people think that, there's a lot of people that want us to, just so I think they can explain things easier.
Right. Okay, well, you get to go again, because I just asked you that as your question.
All right. What has been the most personally satisfying moment in the field for Stacey? If there was no John and Stacey part of it, just Stacey, what has been the one thing that's happened or you've accomplished or whatever that has been so satisfying for you?
Oh, wow. Deep questions. I guess I would say so far, because there's still so many things that we want to do and understand and investigate. But so far, the most personally satisfying for me is just doing this podcast and having it have gone on for so long, just because I'm not the most outgoing person.
Right. And
growing up, I was not the most outgoing person. So I probably wouldn't have done this on my own. But now that it's done, and I kind of do the news and, sort of made that my own thing, it's really satisfying.
Yeah, I mean, I totally can see that, because although you might not have done it to start with, if you were just Stacey,
right,
you would be in high demand.
Oh, well, that's sweet.
So I think you've really made your niche and, paved the way for paranormal news and all that good stuff.
All right. So next question for you. Your question is, what is your favorite form of protection that you use? Like just in general, not necessarily on an investigation, but just, in your everyday paranormal life?
All right, so I have a bunch of stones.
Mm-hmm.
I have all these things. I even have Granddaddy's knife.
Mm-hmm.
I have things that I do carry on purpose to comfort me or to make me feel, like I have some form of protection when I'm not expecting it.
Mm-hmm.
But my favorite form of protection, and this is weird, man, but it's you.
Aw,
And
that's sweet.
that's why I don't want to go anywhere or tackle anything that's too heavy without you, because and I'm trying not to make this sound too cheesy, but if it wasn't for you,
Mm-hmm.
I don't even think I would be here, not the podcast, but I mean here on this plane of existence.
Right.
I don't think I would be here.
Aw.
You've helped me and changed me and made me better, and you're the only reason that I am straight and narrow and going for the things I'm going for. I would never ever be where I'm at if it wasn't for you, and I put a lot of faith in you to protect me.
Oh, well, that's sweet. I wasn't expecting to, feel good about myself asking you questions. Oh, okay. I love you. Your next question, please.
Love you too, baby. Your next question: what theory of yours are you the most proud of?
Well, I think that the one that I'm most proud of, I guess, was when we started doing the recording during setup of an investigation. Like, it never really dawned on us before. And I started to notice, I started running my recorder when we first got there before we were, quote, investigating.
Mm-hmm.
And I noticed that we would get a lot of stuff happening while we were setting up, when we weren't paying attention, when we weren't trying to get the evidence. So, my theory was that, they're going to be around and talk when you're not trying to make that contact, when you're not trying to catch them.
Right.
And, so we started doing that on a couple investigations, just leaving it running and not paying attention to it. And we would catch a lot of, we used to laugh about it because they used to say, you're going to get an EVP when you say the most inappropriate thing you can. Like, you're making fun of somebody that's not in the room. That's when you're going to get your good evidence.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Not that we did that, but
No, but it was a warning for new people. Like, look, don't say anything you don't want everybody in the world to hear, because that's when the ghost is going to say something.
Yeah. If you're on an investigation with Stacey, just be aware from the time you get in the car, you're more than likely being recorded. But no, we did capture a lot of great evidence.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm the one who has to review everything.
Yeah, I know. So it's nothing on me to record for 12 hours. Don't matter.
Yeah, so it's not just the 12 hours. It's 12 hours with 6 recorders. So you can do the math.
All right, so this is a very serious question. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so when you were younger, just like elementary school age, how many times did you actually have to wear the pee pants?
Never had to wear pee pants.
You never had to wear the pee pants?
Not a single time. No, not a single time.
I thought maybe because we were doing the honesty thing that you'd come clean and.
There's no clean to come. It's I was not a pee in your pants kind of kid.
If you don't know what the pee pants are, go back some episodes.
Yeah, never had that problem. I never peed in my pants.
All right.
Nice try. All right, your next question. From doing the news for the past decade, what story has really truly stuck out? What do you think of sometimes when you think of, your collection of news that you've done?
Of all the stories that we've done paranormally? Well, clearly any story where the government is coming clean about something to do with aliens, those stories always stick out. Because, we saw the whole Area 51's a real place. And, then recently with the whole, all that To the Stars Academy stuff. And, we've always said, or I've always said that, they're trying to let it out just slowly. So usually whenever we get stories where they're making some big revelation or it's a quote leak or whatever, that to me, those stories really stick out.
Yeah, man. Oh, God. Hold on.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I mean, we've seen a lot happen.
Mm-hmm.
Just, our time documenting this strange world.
Right.
We have seen a lot go down that's changed. So much so that we kind of believe the world ended in 2012.
Right.
I mean, we've actually had that discussion. Like, do you think that maybe we're in a weird state of...
That's when the Matrix started.
There you go.
Oh, there you are. We got it figured out. All right. So how about for you, when you investigate, what are your must-haves? What must you have on an investigation? Or it's a no-go.
Wow, like equipment wise?
Yeah, or anything you need to bring with you. You know, it doesn't have to be equipment. It can be anything that you just have to have with you.
Okay, I have to have a bottle of water at all times because I have a problem where I get very dry mouthed around paranormal activity.
That is one of your tells.
And so I have to have that. I also have to have some things medically for me because, again, just different little things that happen to me on investigations. I also have to have a recorder because I'm just audio based. And these days, I have to have some type of spirit box communication, some kind of ITC. That's all I care about. All right. So this one's kind of difficult.
Oh, okay.
We agree on a lot.
We do.
Nearly everything. What do you think our biggest divide is as far as philosophically or belief-wise, if paranormal speaking here or the field?
Okay, so it's all paranormally speaking. What is our biggest, like, maybe disagreement?
Right.
At one point, I would have said crop circles, but you've sort of caved on those a bit, where you sort of believe them.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, it changes over time. There was a point in time where our investigation styles were not as close as they are now. They were totally different investigation styles, but we used that to our advantage. You know, we had different styles and we tried different styles, but I think we kind of meshed that into what we do now.
Right.
Like, you know, learning as you go. Wow, this is a hard one. Do we really have a disagreement on anything paranormally?
I don't think we do anymore, actually.
I don't think that we do.
Nothing that really sticks out.
Different favorite things, but nothing that we don't really like disagree on.
Yeah, there's nothing that really sticks out at all. But I do agree. In the past,
Yes.
crop circles was a huge one.
Yeah.
And that took interviews.
Maybe pet psychics. Although I think you're coming around on that one too.
Yeah, okay. I'll give you pet psychics.
Okay.
All right, your turn.
This is going to be good. This might be a hard one, but I can't wait to hear the answer. So, did you ever have a revelation as an adult about something that happened in your childhood that shocked or horrified you? Like maybe something you thought or something you did or something that happened that you thought was perfectly normal when you were a child, but then when you grew up, you found out how absolutely horrifying it was.
I'm not sure this is fair.
I mean, I could tell you mine. I have one.
Okay.
My hamster. The way my hamster died. I was horrified when I found out the truth about my hamster.
That you've slowly killed it.
I poisoned my hamster. I didn't know I did it. I didn't mean to. There was, a fly in my room, and my mom was like, get the bug spray and go spray the fly. So I went in my room and closed the door and played a little game where I chased the fly around the room and sprayed it over and over until my mom came in the room and pulled me out because I was probably slowly poisoning myself as well. And was like, dear God, it was like cloudy in there. I had been spraying bug spray for like 10 minutes.
Explains so much.
And a few weeks later, my hamster lost all its hair and its teeth and its claws. And my mom said that we had to let it go in the woods behind the house. I'm not sure what exactly happened to it. I was pretty upset about it. But I didn't know that. I thought it was just sick. Like, she was like, oh, your hamster's gotten sick and we have to let it go in the woods, but it'll be fine. It can live out there in the wild. And I was like, okay. I mean, I was little. And then when I was an adult, I found out that I actually poisoned it and it had to be put down. Anyway, this was supposed to be your question.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's yours?
How do I top that?
I think you can.
So as an adult, I realized that, wow. I realized that I'd been talked to basically my entire life, and that there was a man that used to speak to me and tell me things, and there was many times my great-grandmother would tell me I shouldn't be playing like I was because I would be playing with something that, wasn't there. But in my memories, for a long time, I was just like, oh my God, she used to get mad at me for
pretending that there was something there, or talking to something while I was laying under the piano, and things like that. But it all came to a head when I was talked into getting into a tree and putting a noose around my neck. And my grandmother, who has the shine, she will admit it when there's nobody around. She felt there was something wrong. She left the store that she owned, which the house was up behind the store. It's hard to explain, but there's a lot of woods. And she came and found me quickly because she had a feeling that she needed to. After that, I don't remember it talking. But yeah, so that was horrifying.
Yes.
Okay. So next question, top of your head, what have you seen or heard that is the most compelling personal proof of ghost to you?
Oh, well, this one's easy. It's going to be the first thing that ever happened to us.
Right.
Our event where we saw the Shadow Man.
Yeah.
Because I saw it, and it was right there, and it was just as real as any. I mean, it was.
Yeah, I know. I agree.
Dark, and I mean, I've never seen anything that solid, that was paranormal since then.
I agree. I mean, just because that was an experience that people can look for it their entire lives and never get anywhere close.
Exactly.
And it came to us.
Yep.
It came to us for a reason. We'll always believe that.
Yes, I think so too.
I believe it steered us where we needed to be. But yeah, that's what I thought it would be.
All right. So your next question: what is your favorite piece of evidence you've ever caught?
Ooh.
You've caught some good stuff, so this one might be hard.
Yeah, it is. It is. That is hard because of all the things that I've captured. I mean, I have captured voices that just talk back and forth with me for a long period of time. I've had things tell me about what kind of pain I was in and all kinds of stuff like that, which is all great evidence. I've had something tell me my birthday on tape. So, but for whatever reason, at Major Grand Mansion, just the voice itself, having the voice be so vocalized and clear and haunting, and just it's that paranormal, it's that real ghost story type piece of evidence of tell Gracie that I need her.
Oh, yes, that's such a good one.
It just, when I hear her go, tell Gracie I need her, that's just, it breaks my heart. But it also is just so haunting. It's so ghost that I love it.
It's a good piece. I agree.
All right, next question for you.
Okay.
What is the scariest moment of paranormal in your life so far?
Wow. Well, the scariest I've ever felt, like I don't feel scared a lot of times on paranormal investigations. It doesn't, expect things to happen. So, and I don't want to pick a time where I was just startled or something like that, because that's different. But I think the scariest I've ever had, the most scared I felt, was at Waverly Hills. And we were there with a group. It wasn't just us. And we went to the 4th floor, and you'll remember this. And we were all walking down the 4th floor.
I already knew what it was.
And all of a sudden, we all just wanted to leave. I don't think it was just me. I think everybody together got this overwhelming feeling that we needed to not be where we were. And I honestly felt scared in that moment.
Yeah.
But, I felt it in my chest and stuff.
Yeah, nobody on that team feels that way ever.
No, I know.
And we all felt the same way. We never get that way. So we're all basically Scooby Gang walking down the street together, paws on each other's shoulders kind of thing. And,
right.
But it just happened out of nowhere, and we were walking along, and we just knew we weren't supposed to be there. It was menacing. It was horrible. And it was something I'll never forget too. And that's when I was trying to break the monotony of it all, and I knocked on a door. And I was just like, and somebody instantly was like, "Who's there?" And plain as day, it was like, who's there? And we're like, I mean, we just looked at each other.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we just all looked at each other and we realized where we were and what was happening and the gravity of the situation. We left. We didn't run or anything like that.
Right.
But we got the hell off that floor. And I've always said that's the demonic floor.
Mm-hmm. All right. So question for you.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a wrestling question.
Oh.
So tell everyone, how many states have you actually wrestled in and which one was your favorite?
Oh, that's a hard one.
You got to count them up, both hands.
Well, I got to think. Okay. 7 states.
Mm-hmm.
I think, 7 states. And that's a hard one. Tennessee's always going to have to be my favorite because that's where I'm known. Right. And so much has happened in Tennessee. It's been really cool. And I get to be around heroes of mine. And those heroes are my friends, like Dr. Tom Pritchard.
Right.
I get to be friends with people that I just admired so much as a kid. And it's always going to be Tennessee. And plus I've got to be in the Mid-South Coliseum. Mm-hmm. I was backstage, when Terry Funk is there doing his crunches, getting ready to go out and standing beside Kamala and all this stuff. But in Kentucky, I was on a show with King Kong Bundy and having him telling me dirty jokes and ruining my childhood. I got to have a match with Jake the Snake Roberts in Ohio. Mm-hmm. And Abdul the Butcher and all this stuff in Ohio. So that, that puts Ohio really big on the list. But
right.
West Virginia, I've been around all kinds. I mean, just had a really great run in West Virginia. Almost got stabbed in West Virginia. Mm-hmm. So that was really cool. Made some great jokes about people in West Virginia. And
which might explain why you almost got stabbed in West Virginia.
Yeah, well, so... all in all, though, it's, big Southern territory
right.
for me. And you got to go with home. I mean,
of course,
in this place, I can't walk in the city of Kingsport. I cannot walk anywhere that has, rednecks without them knowing who I am.
Right.
And I get that look like you get with the TV weatherman. Mm-hmm. Because for so many years, now we're on a national level. We're on something called IWTV, and we're starting in late May with the federation I work for the most, and we'll be it's independent wrestling television. Got all kinds of great content on there, but you'll see us once a month, see me once a month on there. Pretty cool stuff. We're excited about that. But for many, 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 many years, and if you want to add it up, my friend Robbie Casti, who's not in wrestling anymore, he cracks me up because he always has a way to make things sound as big as they can. You know what I mean? So he's like, yeah, baby, I was on 253 hours of, television or whatever. And that was the first time I ever thought of that. I was like, wow, what a good resume. Like, he's one of those resume builders.
Right.
And I was like, Jesus, I never thought about that. And I was like counting it up. 2004, never missed a week. Because that's when that's when the first time I got on TV. Because I was wrestling before that, but you always want to make the local TV. That's when I made the local TV. So it was like instantly I was the main guy. All they had to do was hear me talk. And I was like, let me tell you something.
Right.
And so we get on there. I was like 2004, May of 2004 too. I think this is when I was counting it up to do an actual every week was like December 2009.
Right.
And if you just do every week there, you're looking at a few hundred. Pretty cool stuff. So that's my big resume builder anyway. Cool question.
There you go.
So what scared you in real life? The most scared you've ever been in real life?
Okay. I was like, wow, I was trying to pick out of the things that scare me in real life.
I mean, of course, the paranormal is real life.
Right. But you mean
outside of going somewhere in pain to be scared.
Right.
It's a personal question.
It is. So you want one specific time?
I want the most afraid you remember being in your actual life.
So I have a little story about this, and this is probably the most scared I've felt in real life because I suppose I was young and maybe I didn't really understand what was going on. But when I was younger, I grew up in Virginia Beach. Mm-hmm. My dad was in the Navy, And my mom and dad used to go to their friends' houses all the time, and they'd take us. And so we were always on the weekends, we were always at a different person's house, that they worked with or that was in the Navy or whatever. And they were doing like a, get together playing cards and stuff. And one time the person's house we went to was down at the beach. Like they lived in Virginia Beach, very close to where the beach was. And for some reason, I don't know what happened. There was a fire, a hotel fire. It was pretty bad. And so they all decided they wanted to walk down and see, the spectacle. And I was just little. I mean, I probably was 5 or 6 maybe. I don't even remember. I just remember that we all walked down there and I saw this huge, like, inferno hotel fire. It was terrifying because I was so little. And in my memory, I don't know if it really happened this way because you know how memory works, especially when you're a child. But I'm pretty sure I remember seeing people jump out the windows.
Oh my God.
That is what my little mind thought anyway. And it absolutely terrified me. I'm devastated. That's why I always check everything in the house like a million times, or if I smell something that I think smells like smoke,
right,
I flip out because I'm like, no, that I don't ever want that to happen.
Oh
ever want to be in a fire. But that's the most scared I ever remember being.
Well, I wonder if you really saw people jumping out of windows.
I really don't know because I was really young, but when I think back to remember it, that's what I remember. But I don't know if I actually remember that or if someone said something like that and I was just picturing it, or, I didn't look at the fire a lot. I did look at it, but after, a minute or so, I tried not to look at it.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's crazy. I didn't know that story.
Yeah, there you go. All right, so your turn. And this is a paranormal question. So what is your least favorite branch of paranormal study? Your least favorite. Doesn't mean you have to hate it. Just what's on the bottom of the list for you?
Wow. Can you give me examples?
Yeah, like if you took all the branches of paranormal study, like ufology and cryptozoology.
So the whole
crop circles.
The whole field of woo.
The whole field. Yeah.
Okay.
What's your least favorite? The one that you're least interested in?
Cryptozoology.
You think so?
Yeah.
I'd probably have to go with that too.
I mean, I push it and I try to find out as much as I can, but for me, it's spirit communication, which just communication, right? It can be with ETs, it can be with spirits, whatever the hell we're talking to. That's the most interesting to me because it's tangible,
right?
And I could put something on the table right now, and communicate instantly,
right.
and that's really interesting to me. Right up there with that is the mysteries of the world, the mysteries of the unknown. So you go back to the ancient history that we talk about a lot now, and time before time and all that good stuff. You talk about mysterious booms and skyquakes and that kind of stuff, and that's right up there with the ETs and ufology. Which, I mean, it's so close. All these are so close that it's really depending on what I'm spending time on that day.
Right.
But when you get past that, I lose interest because that encompasses like shadow people and are they the same and dimensional travel and all these really geeky things that I love, but I think they all kind of hold tight together in their own way.
Right.
But then you have even interdimensional beings. I consider like little people and uppercut. They're all in the same thing. But then you get over to cryptozoology, which it doesn't really share a whole lot with the rest. You're actually like monster hunting at that point.
Right, you're looking for actual creatures
that could bite your arm off.
Yes.
And I mean, if you find them, what's going to happen? Well, you're going to get torn limb from limb. I mean, and there's just something about the whole stink of it, I guess, about being out in the woods. I love going out to nature, and but I'm a vision quest, go out to nature kind of guy.
Right. See, that's my, that was mine. Like, it's my least favorite, but only because I don't like traipsing through
right.
woods
well,
at
I mean,
night.
we Stacey and I love to go out to the woods, but we're like go out to the woods and drop acid kind of people. We're not go out to the woods and, it's like, what'd you guys do? Well, we went out there looking at UFOs, ended up, hashtagging and, we don't actually drop acid.
No, we don't.
I mean, we probably should, but we haven't.
People probably think we do, but
no, that was a joke. But we would go out there and listen to the Doors. I would say that. But I don't know. I love cryptozoology.
Right.
But like you said, it's like I don't hate it.
Right, but it's just not your preferred line of study.
It's not even what I watch.
No, this is true. Unless it's a documentary. Like we don't watch the running shows, but if there's a certain documentary here and there that's really interesting.
Well, I'll tell you what the most interested I've been in Bigfoot has been because of our friends.
Yeah.
Bill and Amy. Bill and Amy Lancaster, who we just had on Spaced Out Radio, cheap plug, because they have this whole connection with the Native Americans and the First Nation. And, it's really interesting. It
is. I think one of the reasons why we like their documentaries so much is because they're not documentaries about Bigfoot hunting per se. It's all about the Bigfoot community, and it's about the legends, and it's about...
Well, yeah, they're doing documentaries on the people looking.
Right.
Not on the... It's on the phenomena of the hunt.
Right.
And that is interesting to us.
That is interesting.
The origins, why do people do this? How many different cultures? That is interesting to me. All the different cultures that have seen this. And, that's the reason I believe. Do I believe just one person telling me? Hell no. I believe in a collective of people that had no way to communicate with each other, but they all drew the same thing. That's where this is, whether it's still around or not, it was definitely. So cool stuff. Thanks. Your question.
Okay.
This is a little bit deeper.
Uh-oh.
Do you feel that your personal tragedies that you avoid like the plague have influenced your love of the paranormal, your interest in the paranormal?
Wow. Really digging deep in there, aren't you? Well, I would have to say yes, absolutely, because it was because of an early personal tragedy that I started believing in the paranormal. Because, when I was young, my father passed away when I was young. And, my parents were divorced, so I didn't live near my dad. I didn't get to see him that much. And so after he died, I missed him, and it helped me to think that he was still around, that he was somehow, his spirit was still with me, that I could talk to him, and one day maybe I could hear him talk back. And so I just sort of held on to that belief that, spirits could be around, that ghosts were real, that the paranormal was real, because I needed it to be real as a child.
Wow.
So it did influence me, yes.
Well, that's deeper than I thought.
All right, so let's go to one for you. Hold on, I'm going to flip the page here, see if I can find a very deep question. All right, so maybe not so deep, but what is the most surprising thing that you've learned about the paranormal since our first encounter?
The most surprising thing for me about the paranormal since the encounter, the event, has been the fact of how real it is, how deep that the reality of the paranormal goes, as opposed to the rules that we're governed by and what we're taught, and the dogma that we are introduced to at a very young age about what is real and what isn't real when you're watching TV or you're watching anything really. And they're like, oh, ghosts aren't real, or in Scooby-Doo, right? I love Scooby-Doo, but it was always a guy in a mask. And for me, that was always disappointing. It bothered me. I don't know why, but as a child, I wanted it to be a real ghost this time. Every time I wanted it to be a real ghost. With the things that I've learned about myself and the blocks that I had in my memory, I've learned that, number one, it was always around me. I knew it was always around the family. But then I found out these deeper parts of the paranormal, that things that I would have laughed at even after seeing what we seen the first time, that I would have not believed the person. But then you get into it and you find out that it just gets more amazing, and more unexplainable.
Right.
All right. So this is not as heavy of a question.
Okay.
Tell us about your life in band, and how good you were.
Wow, pulling out the band question.
Well, I mean, you were good, man. You got to be proud of that stuff.
I was in high school. I was a band geek. We used to sing if you're a band geek and you know it, clap your hands, because we were. Oh. I didn't start band until I was a sophomore in high school.
Well, I didn't realize that. You started that late?
I did, and I had never played a musical instrument before, and I just picked one up, and I really wanted to play trumpet, but there were so many trumpet players that the band director asked if I would play baritone instead, which is a low brass instrument, not as big as a tuba, but it plays the same as a trumpet. It's just, the bass line. And so I agreed, and it was easier to learn in a short period of time. And so that year, my sophomore year, I learned how to play, I learned how to march, I learned how to do all of it in the summer before school started, and I absolutely loved it. And then my junior year, I made first chair.
Wow.
Actually, second chair. I wasn't first chair until I was a senior. My fault. I was second chair, but I did the marching band in the fall, and then in the spring we did concert band. And then I think my senior year we had like a jazz band on the side, and I played trombone in the jazz band. So
when you went to ETSU, did you have a scholarship on band, or you walk on?
I did not. I just walked on. I wanted to. I took music class. I didn't really know what I wanted to major in, so I just made my major music at first and just took a bunch of music classes, and which was great. I absolutely loved it. My roommates in my dorm, they were studying, and I was
with a minor in experimentation.
I'm gonna go practice in the music hall, and so it was really fun. And that was the year that I went to TSU. I did the basketball band because they had marching band for football. The football team was terrible, so it was not.
Yeah, you guys
fun.
went to the Sweet 16 that year.
Yeah, but the basketball team, yes, went to this, and I got to go, and it was really funny because you could only take so many band members to the Sweet 16, the college kid, and there were like 2 other baritones ahead of me that were older and were going to get to go. I wasn't going to get to go, and it turns out that the Sweet 16 when we went was on the same weekend or whatever as a choral trip, and these 2 baritone players were also in the chorus, and they had to go to this choral competition. So I ended up getting to go to the Sweet 16.
Wow.
Just by default. And, we got to sit there on courtside and, play. And it was amazing. And you got to see
the most infamous team in the history of college basketball.
Yes.
The Fab Five.
Yes. They would. It was funny. I'm supposed to be there for ETSU, and here they come out, and I'm like trying to touch them as they're running by the band.
They were all stars.
It was great.
They were all stars that actually had their title stripped from them after the fact.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because they
remember that.
Because they took the bets. They shaved points, man.
But yeah, it was a fun time. It was a fun time. A lot of good band experiences.
Yeah. I mean, I've heard quite a bit. Like, I never knew. I would have totally went after a band girl had I known all the wildness that was, those flutes.
All right. So tell us right now, what currently is your favorite book? I know that this one changes occasionally.
Yes, it does. Currently, at this moment, I am back on Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
That's such a good book. I love the audiobook for that.
Yeah, I go back and forth, and the reason Hitchhiker came up is we recently passed a very important anniversary for the book. Mm-hmm. I can't tell you right off how many years that is, but a lot of friends of mine started, posting pictures and, thumbs up and all this stuff and just, cool things about it. It's just such a awesome story.
Right.
And it's written so well. It's written very much Monty Python.
Yes, it really is.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I see when I, read it is Monty Python. So, all right, next question, youngin'.
Okay.
What spell in the world of the spellcraft, what spell actually made you believe that, you could do a spell? What spell did you do that made you go, oh, crap, this stuff really works?
You mean like the first one or just?
Well, I mean, just, like which one is the one that would make you do it again?
Oh, or maybe not do it again. I know that the first time I ever did one where it really hit home that worked, it has to be the one that we talked about in the book, the money spell that we did.
Yeah. And
it worked extremely well and also had some kickback that was not pleasant. And, I learned a lot of lessons in that little debacle.
Yeah, yes, so did I. I still feel it right now.
So, yeah, because that was the first time I really put a lot of effort into what I was doing and really, was trying to do an actual spell that had an actual result.
And the movies are right. It comes back threefold.
It does.
So
It does.
we got paid off within a year 3 times, and we lost 3 important things.
Yes.
So very crazy. Could it be a coincidence? Well, to some people, not to us.
All right. So your question: have you ever experienced a phantom smell on an investigation? Not one that you created,
Right.
like an actual one.
I have.
Have you? What was it?
It was the one I remember right off the bat is an old cigar smell.
Ah, I think I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've smelled different kind of perfumes like lavender, old school things.
Right.
I've smelled body odor.
Oh, that was terrible.
Went in a place that I shouldn't have smelled anything like that. I've smelled just weird smells, like smells of certain foods and things like that. Things of my memory.
Right.
As weird as that is. So I think there was like a spirit from my past, even though I was on an investigation that was sort of like,
Do you think sometimes spirits can give you smells that like conjure up an image of them? Like, say it was your grandmother or something, and she always used to make a certain dish.
Yes.
And maybe she could make you smell that, and it made you think of her.
I absolutely think that is.
Yes.
I think that happens, and somehow that gets permeated around you, and because other people will smell it too,
Right.
And it's weird. It's one of those strange phenomena that just happen. But if they could throw a newspaper at you from 1930, then they could, let you smell some apple turnovers.
There you go.
All right, your next question. If you could live anywhere in the world, where would you want to live, and describe the house?
Oh, wow. I would want to live somewhere in Europe in like an old manor house. Maybe Ireland would be nice. So I could see all the green and the beautiful cliffs
Right.
and the water, and just have one of those old, huge manor houses that have all the windows and wood inside everywhere and big, huge stone fireplaces. Oh, that would be amazing.
Yeah, it really would.
That would be amazing. And if for some reason I couldn't live in Europe and I had to live in the United States, I would just want to live somewhere on the water in a huge Victorian-style house with a big yard and lots of secret passageways. Any house I live in has to have secret passageways.
See why I love her.
Yes.
Very cool.
Behind the bookcase where you pull the book.
Oh, yeah. Put the candle back.
All right. So, sort of the same kind of question for you, but if you could live in any time period, which one would you choose? This is a good question for a history guy.
Yeah, it is. It's a very interesting question. I think that, honestly, I would want to go back to prehistory. I would want to live at the time when we were what I've been talking about all the time, when we were technologically advanced, but we were absolutely around, even if that was 300 million years ago, because there's discoveries out there, more than one, of things trapped in coal that are modern type, iron bowls and brass doorknobs and all this stuff from 300 million years ago. If that's a reality, I would like to live then and see what's going on, what happened.
Right.
If we were talking about accepted history, then it would absolutely be around 500 AD. Just in the time I would like to be a Viking. In that time period, and really have that wonder, or even in England or Welsh area with the Druids.
Oh, that would be nice.
Just to really, feel that religion and that power and that magic connection with nature, and being around all like-minded people, where they knew the woman should be that high up, So yeah, that would be it. What is your biggest regret in life?
Let's see. I would have to say that up to now, because I don't know what's going to happen in the future. My biggest regret in life is spending a lot of my younger years not being very outgoing, being sheltered and too worried about what other people think.
Yeah.
And not being, not talking to that person I wanted to talk to, or not, going for the thing that I wanted to go for.
Right.
You know, and that's something that you just look back on. You're like, I don't know why I was so hung up on that. I should have done what I wanted to do.
Absolutely. I totally agree. And a lot of it, I think for a lot of people, it's going to be, why didn't I grab for that brass ring?
Right.
Because the worst thing that happened is I fall off the horse.
Exactly.
So.
All right, your question. You might have to think about this one for a minute.
Okay.
So what is the strangest dream you've ever had? One that just sticks with you.
Wow. Okay. Well, it's a reoccurring dream, and oh man, it's so weird. These UFOs moving silently over rooftops, and it's so real. It's just happening. It's actually happening. And they, people start getting taken and stuff, and everybody's running, and there's other ones where nobody sees it but me. And, but still yet, when I see these craft, it's the realest thing ever. And I'm really seeing these things, man. And I have a lot of dreams, dozens of dreams that I've had where I'll be laying and looking at the sky, because I look at the sky all the time. When I go outside, I look at the sky, and I'm just an avid sky watcher. And I'll see these outlines of something, and I can tell that it's something, and I know that it's something. And then I'll see it, and it's a craft, and it's large, and it might even come into where I can see it all the way. And these dreams are so freaking real. They're so real. And when I say real, I mean like your hand in front of your face right now real. And they're just nuts. I have a lot of recurring dreams, but these I don't even talk about. Like, these are not things I talk about. I don't talk about how many times I have them, how often I have them, but they scare me to death. And I always wake up and I'm freaked out. All right. So this one is hard for you.
Okay.
But it's kind of a top of your head thing.
All right.
What is your favorite song ever?
Wow. Favorite song ever?
Yeah, your favorite song. Like, if you're just going to play your favorite song.
All right. So my favorite song, this is kind of hard for me because, as you know, my musical knowledge was not that great until I met you. You had to school me.
That was fun.
Just school me on. But it would have to be, honestly, something from Marilyn Manson, because his songs are my favorite. And if I had to pick one, and people would probably disagree with me on this, but it has to be his cover of Tainted Love. I love that song. But then again, I'm a huge fan of like epic songs. Like, I like a lot of stuff that Aerosmith has done. I watch a lot of musicals, and there's always songs from musicals that could also be my favorites.
Right. So
it's hard for me to pick one. Phantom of the Opera, obviously, Music of the Night is one of my absolute favorites.
Yeah.
If you're talking about musicals.
I would think that's music. I would think that's your favorite.
I think so.
Done by Gerard Butler.
Yes, from that movie.
Yeah, it has to be the right movie.
Yes. All right, so let me give you one. So back to wrestling again. Has anything paranormal ever happened to you while you were at a wrestling event?
Yes.
Like working a wrestling event?
Yeah, absolutely. I have to go with actually something. There's been some things happen. We've worked in some haunted buildings, and there's been chairs move and things like that. But I really have to go with something that happened, on the journey, because it's in the book, but it's just so overwhelming. It's, my friend Bo used to always make the trips to West Virginia with us, and there was a truck stop. And old wrestlers, it's like a old wrestling lore, going back as far as we know, like 60s and 70s, Southeastern wrestling and stuff. If they didn't stop at the truck stop in Withville, then there was something bad was going to happen to you.
Right. So it's a superstition.
Yeah. So you said, you asked me if I believed in superstition.
That's right.
So I didn't, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, you got to stop here or something bad's going to happen. Well, I always play along and we stop. I usually need to stop anyway.
Right.
And there's not a lot of stops before or after. So, I was in a hurry one night to get home and I didn't stop. I was just like, no, I don't have time. I have to work tomorrow. I gotta get home. So I didn't stop, and Bo was like, ooh, that's not good. Something bad gonna happen, And we're on interstate, and out of nowhere, this is probably about 30 minutes after we missed it, there's a full truck tire, not the rubber, a freaking truck tire. And it's on its side, laying flat on its side, right in front of us before I could do anything. And I was driving a minivan back then and had a carload full of 350-pound wrestlers. And all I remember was like, oh God. And Bo was like half asleep and he was like, ooh. And we go up in the air and when we come down, we jumped in this minivan. When we come down, there was fire shoot up from the sides on both sides, not sparks, fire. Fire shot up on the sides. Everybody was quiet after everybody screamed at first. Screamed. Total scream. And I held it on the road because I'm that guy. And I didn't say a word. Nobody said a word. Everything's going really quiet.
Right.
And it's like, I told you should have stopped at that rest stop. And I was just like, shut up, Bo.
That van never really smelled the same after that trip.
Yeah.
After you put all those wrestlers in there.
Yeah. Well, that van's seen a lot. It's rest in peace. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So your next question, what is your favorite food?
Ooh, my favorite food. Absolutely. Now, if I were 10 years old, that'd be easy. I'd say spaghetti because spaghetti was always my favorite food growing up. But I think now I'd have to say Japanese food, the hibachi stuff that we eat.
Right.
Got to be my favorite because anytime you're like, do you want something special to eat? And I'm always like, yeah.
Of course I do.
Some Japanese food. All right. So your next question is, while we're on favorites, what is your all-time favorite band?
Wow.
You can only pick one.
I know.
All-time favorite that transcends all other bands.
I know, right? But there's definitely three of them. Is the problem.
Okay. Well, you can give us three. I'll be nice.
All right.
I know how you are.
Duran Duran,
Mm-hmm.
Faith No More,
Mm-hmm.
and Pearl Jam.
Yes. I wasn't sure which one of those you were going to pick if I just made you pick one. Like, I know which ones are kind of your favorites.
Pearl Jam.
Would that be the number one?
If I had to pick one, yeah.
It would be Pearl Jam.
Yeah.
I would have thought it would have been Duran Duran.
Well, the problem there is Pearl Jam's got so many albums that are continuously come out, and they play so many different styles that
It's very true.
I could take them to an island, the whole collection,
right?
And I wouldn't have to listen to the same thing,
That's true.
4-hour concerts. I mean, there's a lot that goes into the fact that them being a band that never stopped, never broke up, was there for the fans the entire time.
Right.
All right. So on favorites again, what's your favorite book ever?
Well, my favorite book ever is not one book; it's a series. But it's Stephen King's Dark Tower series. Probably my favorite read ever, and it was one of those that I want to go back and do again. Now that it's been so long since I read it, but it's just one of those series where after you finish a book, you can't wait to get the next one.
Right.
Like it kills you. And I really liked it. I liked the whole story and how it ended up. And I don't know, I loved it.
Cool.
All right. So for you, what is your current favorite paranormal TV show?
Ghost Adventures.
I thought you might say that.
Yeah.
I knew that one was your favorite.
It's always going to be Ghost Adventures. Always has been Ghost Adventures.
It always has been, yes.
So, if you could be in another life, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And so you don't have to do this around me or the kids.
Okay.
It's just Stacey.
Okay.
You could be any career that you want to be right now, and you've been in the career for a while, whatever. What career would you be?
Oh, if it was just me and I was in another life and I could do anything. I would probably be an archaeologist.
There you go.
Honestly, fascinates me, and I think that I would really be fulfilled doing that job and enjoy it.
I agree.
So.
Yeah, no, I mean, you own everything you ever do, so I think you'd be a bloody good one.
Aw, thank you, sweetie. All right, so for you, how about what is your favorite way to dress? What's your favorite style? If you had unlimited money and you could dress any way you wanted, have any style you wanted, what would you pick? What is your favorite?
All suits.
You think so?
Mm-hmm.
Like sharp, expensive suits, tailored and all that?
Yeah, I'd have a Rolex presidential watch. I'd have alligator shoes.
You'd be Conor McGregor?
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
I'd have alligator shoes. I'd have tailor-made suits that cost like $10,000.
Wow. I bet you'd look good too.
Well, thank
Look
you.
sharp in that.
That's really how I like to dress. This one's simple.
Okay.
What is your favorite TV show currently?
My current favorite, it doesn't have to be paranormal, it could be any TV show.
Anything.
I'm going to have to say Grey's Anatomy. Raj and I watch Grey's Anatomy. We've watched it since the beginning, and we never miss an episode. And even though it frustrates us sometimes, we never miss it, so I have to list it as my favorite. I'm not that committed to any other TV show.
Right. Okay.
All right, so a little conspiracy question here. So, the government used to always do these programs, psychic warfare, things like that. Do you think that currently, to this day, that the government has a program where they spy on us using remote viewing?
Yes.
You think they have remote viewers that work for them now?
I do. I think they have a lot of sections of the black budget stuff that we're not told about, and they continue to do because, listen, if you read The Ministeric Goats and all this, if they did it at one time and they had success,
right?
Do they stop there? Really?
No, that would be silly.
Yeah,
to drop the program.
It'd be silly if you could see what your enemy's doing, and remotely. Of course, you're going to keep doing it. What is the way you don't want to die?
Ooh, drowning.
Okay.
Absolutely terrified of water. I'm not really terrified of water. That's not a true statement. I was when I was younger. I do know how to swim. It took me a long time to learn, a very long, not normal amount of time to learn how to swim, because I have this unnatural fear of water, and I will swim to this day. I won't dive. I won't go in head first. And if I'm in the water, don't touch me. Like, don't grab me. Don't put your arms around me. Don't pretend like you're going to dunk me. I will panic. But I can swim and hold my own if you just leave me alone.
There you go.
So definitely don't want to drown. It's really a toss-up between that and getting burnt in a fire. I'm equally scared of that. Obviously, we went over that already. But I think water tops it. And I say that because of all the dreams I used to have. Like, I always have these terrible, terrible nightmares of drowning and getting hit with waves and being caught in, rushing water, and it just all water themed and related. It's very terrifying. All right. So your question, what is something that you look back on and say to yourself, what on earth was I thinking?
Jeez. One thing?
Yeah, just pick one out of the multitude.
Oh, God. So in 5th grade, I was trying to find myself, I believe.
Right.
And I went out and bought all leather pants.
Okay. Your parents let you do this?
Yes.
Okay.
I had actual leather pants.
Wow.
I had parachute pants. But because I had pleather and I had leather. And I mean leather. And I loved my leather pants. I went through that for half that year, and then decided I wanted to dress like Don Johnson.
Oh, okay.
So I went out and got all white suits and
right,
pink
and
shirts,
pink t-shirts,
pink t-shirts, teal t-shirts, things like that. And I wore my white suit jacket and my white slacks, or my khaki, or my beige.
Did you wear the loafers with no socks?
Yes, loafers, no socks, the whole thing.
I went to school with a lot of guys that dressed like that.
Yeah.
Lots of them.
Yeah. That was my thing. And I'm terrified of those times.
You're like, burn all the pictures.
Yeah.
Get rid of all the proof.
But I went to school with all the rest of the boys, had chains going from their pocket to their wallet.
Right.
And
camouflage.
They were wearing belts that someone had hammered their name on the back of them.
Did they have humongous belt buckles?
Oh, yeah. It's usually like an eagle or something, and it said Billy on the back of their belt.
See, you went to the wrong. You should have gone to my school.
Yeah, well, I know. That's why I tried going to your school so much. All right. So if you're in a horror movie and you are the killer,
right?
How do you kill people?
Ooh, wow, that's a good question. How do I kill people if I'm the killer in a horror movie? I'm definitely not going to be like the hack and slash kind of, chainsaw axe person. It'd have to be something a lot smoother. Something like, I don't know, I feel like I would do something that was very trappish, like set you up in a trap somehow that ended up killing you. Like you walk down a hallway and there's a booby trap and you get sliced in half, or something like that.
Right.
I wouldn't personally do the hacking and slashing. It would be something that I set for you, and you would get stuck in it and you would die.
Yeah, I know this. That's why I don't screw with you.
That way, plausible deniability here. That's what we're going for.
Right. They're going to use this episode in a court case at some point. I just know.
They're going to just cut little pieces of it out and be like, look what she said. All right. So what in the paranormal field makes you the most angry?
Fake psychics.
Ah, that is one. Especially when they try to take people for a ride.
Yeah, I can't stand people that fake a real ability, because there's people out there that have this and can't they don't feel comfortable reading people because so many people are out there to make a buck.
Right.
That pisses me off. All right. So who is your favorite comedian ever?
My favorite comedian ever. Ooh.
She loves comedy.
I do love comedy. Wow, that's a hard one because I really, really like Stephen Wright. Like I watched him a lot when I was younger because I really like that deadpan humor where it takes you a second to get it, and by the time you get it and laugh at it, he's already on to something else. But I also really like smart comedy like George Carlin. I haven't had a chance to watch a lot of current comics. There are a lot of really funny people right now. So, but I'm just gonna have to use those for now.
Okay.
All right. So your question. Now, you sort of answered this earlier, but I'm going to ask you this anyway. I wanted to know what your favorite restaurant is, but I'm going to say, what's your favorite restaurant besides Ridgewood Barbecue?
Oh, God.
Since that was your comfort food. I didn't know your comfort food was going to be a restaurant.
Oh, God. Honestly, just going to Texas Roadhouse.
Oh, they have the best rolls.
Yeah. Just Texas Roadhouse would be, because I can just go there and order anything and I like it, and I get to eat the rolls.
That's true. I always fill up on the rolls.
Yeah.
But then I still order this big steak. Oh.
All right. Delicious. So unlimited funds. I'm like, baby, happy birthday. You tell me the car you want. I'm going to go buy it.
Ooh, any car I want?
Any car. Classic, new, whatever.
No. I want a Dodge Challenger Demon.
There you go.
Yes. I want one. There's not that many, but you're going to have to find me one.
I will do it.
That is going to be something that I want before I die. I love those. I think they're gorgeous. All right, let's see. Your question is, do you believe that magic is real, or do you think it's all just some sort of undiscovered science that they're going to figure out sometime in the future?
I believe that magic is real. I believe that science is magic. And the reverse of that.
Right.
I believe that we try to make things sound too clever, and that at the root of things, just because you can name it something, you're the one that named it, dude. You know what I mean? We named this ASO 9772,
right?
Whatever. It makes things go sparky, sparky, sparky. That doesn't mean that in reality, it's not dragon root.
Right.
And that you put it in there with the Eye of Braxis, and and it causes this smoke. I'm just saying.
Right. I got you.
Yeah.
I got you. I only asked that question because, they talk about how things a long time ago that people thought were magic are not be now because science has explained them.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
They come up with this crazy crap and, they're like, well, we named it this or Gerhard Gerhardt in 1842 named it this. So this is what we're going on.
Right.
And, the hell with that guy. He still thought the earth was flat or something. I mean, I'm just saying, the hell with him. It's magic. All right. We have the ability to dance any dance.
Okay.
What dance do we dance?
Oh, wow. We do the tango.
That's what you want to do is the tango?
I think so. Isn't that supposed to be like a really sexy couple dance?
Sure.
I don't know. I don't know much about dancing.
Oh, I mean, yeah. I just thought maybe some kind of ballroom dance. I didn't know.
Yeah, I mean, it is. It is. I don't know. Waltzing is really pretty.
But you want to get down and dirty.
But yeah.
I got you. No, you don't have to say anything else.
I see.
It's all good.
I see how that came across now.
Yeah. No, I
probably should have thought that through a little more.
No. It's all right. So first initial reactions.
All right. So your question: would you ever take a psychic challenge? Why or why not?
I would.
Mm-hmm.
I would, but I would not like it.
Right.
Because I don't feel that it's something to be toyed with.
Mm-hmm.
I feel that you get things because you're supposed to get things.
Right.
And that it's not a dog and pony show. That it's not. Right. It's not something for that. It's not for entertainment purposes. I believe that you're having people give you messages that are going to help humanity in some way, and it's not to be toyed with. It's not to be put on show.
I always feel like those psychic challenges are skewed anyway because the people that do them have already decided that it's not real.
Oh yeah.
Like they're not open-minded. They're like, oh, we just want. No, they don't want to just test it and see if it's real. They want someone to prove to them that it's real because they think that it's not real.
Well, the problem is they don't stick around for 2 weeks.
Right.
It's like, here's this one thing. I'm thinking of this. It's going to be this. They're setting you up already, and it gets you worried because they're setting you up.
Right.
And
they're trying to make you look silly.
Yeah, or they're thinking of one thing, and it's really something else. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's in your mind.
Right.
The real test would be hang out with us for 2 weeks.
Right, and see what really happens.
Yeah, see what you think at the end of 2 weeks. So, because a lot of that stuff just happens. So, all right. Season tickets to anything, what would it be?
Season tickets to anything, it would be probably NFL.
Okay.
Probably Seattle.
Okay.
Yeah, the Seahawks. Season tickets to the Seahawks. That would be cool. I just would like to see a game in that stadium.
I didn't know if you were going to say some kind of Broadway play or, No.
I mean, I like plays and I like to go see them, but
you'd like to follow the sports team all year.
You can't be loud.
Right.
You can't be loud in a Broadway play.
Well, you can be once.
Right, but I don't think you get to keep your season tickets. It's not a place where you can go and drink beer and hoop and holler and,
right,
whatever.
Right.
So,
all right.
No, I think NFL would be the best. All right. So you have unlimited money to build the house of your dreams. What does that house look like?
A castle.
With actual stone?
Yeah.
Ooh, and a moat?
Well, it doesn't have to.
And a drawbridge?
I mean, it doesn't have to have all that, but it would be nice if it did.
Right.
I want the big, gigantic, 30-foot ceilings. I want the oversized rooms. It has
to be at least one tower, though.
Oh yeah, it
can't be a castle without a tower.
It's got to have towers and all that. I want it to have so much space and the big hallways and different wings.
Tapestries.
And tapestries. A room just hallways full of art. Rooms of just made to sit in. Just amazing things, and like this huge long dining table and a room to go in beforehand for the men and for the women, and just all that Downton Abbey type stuff. I would be happy with a Downton Abbey place.
Yes.
Just I want that kind of extravagance, and not because of the rich thing. It's because I really just want that. I've always wanted to live in a place like that. And it's just this part of me that feels like that's where I need to be. All right. This one is so simple.
Okay. You say that, but go ahead.
What's your favorite color?
Oh, my favorite color is blue.
Always been, always will
always
be. Huh?
has been. Yes. It's so funny because every time I go to buy, like I bought a shirt at the store yesterday and they had a whole bunch of them sitting there, and it's just a pullover shirt that I like to wear around the house, you know, to be comfortable. And I bought the blue one. And I even told myself, don't buy the blue one because everything you own is blue. And I looked at all the other colors and they were nice. You know, there was a green one and there was a pink one, and I bought the blue because I just can't take it. I love the blue. All right. So who is your current celebrity crush? Who's on the top of your list? You know, the list.
Oh my God. Oh God. Wow, that's so wrong.
I have to know who the list is. It's a thing.
Kate Beckinsale.
Okay.
She's up there at the very tip top. I mean, Jennifer Love Hewitt's like holds the championship.
Right. She's probably like most weeks in a row kind of thing.
Yeah, absolutely. She's way up there. It's just Jennifer Love Hottie will always be Jennifer Love Hottie. She even gets hotter in her old age.
Don't you like Jennifer Garner too?
Yeah, I do.
Thing for Jennifers?
No, I don't have a thing for Jennifers. There's also this. I had to look up her name actually, but it's Marina Baccarin. She plays Vanessa on Deadpool.
Oh, yes. Yes, she's adorable.
I absolutely love her. I love her in anything she's in.
Yeah.
And I think she's freaking gorgeous.
She is very pretty.
And I love her attitude. So it's because you can't really fake that.
No.
I mean, you kind of got that or you don't got that, you know?
Right, right.
But yeah, that's it. Where is your dream vacation?
Ooh, where is my dream vacation? I would like to go to Egypt.
There you go.
Because I want to see the pyramids in person.
Well, it's a good thing that's our...
It's kind of a shared thing for us.
Yeah.
I honestly want to go and stand there and see how it makes me feel. Because I think it would be awe-inspiring. So
when we go, I'm going to stand there for a second and I'm going to be like, how does this make you feel? Just wait, because I'm never going to forget that.
I'm sure. Can I tell you a really cool story?
Yeah.
So when I was in elementary school, I guess it was probably 5th grade, I had this other girl in my class, and her mother came to talk to our class because her mom had been to Egypt and had done some kind of, I don't even remember why she was there. I was so excited to hear about it because I've always loved Egypt. And I remember this. I don't remember hardly anything from my childhood. I have a terrible memory about my childhood, but for some reason I remember this story that this girl whose name I don't remember, her mom told, because when she was in Egypt, she said that she went on this tour and she was with all these people, and they were in the marketplace and they were shopping and stuff, and she saw this necklace that she really, really wanted. And it was kind of like a barter system thing, and she was trying to get this necklace, and you know, she couldn't communicate really well, and it was time to go. The tour was moving on. She couldn't, you know, stand there and you know, try and get it. So she ended up having to leave the necklace behind, even though she really, really wanted it. And she went with the tour, and they went to their next spot, and I believe they were at a pyramid or a tomb. They were somewhere at their next stop looking at something ancient. And she said that when she went into this place, that on the ground was a necklace just like the one she wanted from the market.
Oh, wow.
And she picked it up and kept it. And, you know, I think she tried to give it to like the tour guide or whatever, and they told her, no, if you found that, it's because you were meant to have it. So,
wow.
And she got to keep it. And she was wearing it that day. And that story was just like blew my mind, you know, as a 5th grader. And I was like, I want to go there.
That's really cool.
So I've always remembered that story.
How cool.
Yeah. I'm sure I'm not getting it exactly right because,
That's
you know,
all
it was
right.
5th grade, but that was the gist of it. So
Cool.
All right. So where is your favorite place to hashtag asking for a friend?
Oh my God. You're not going to believe this.
What?
You're not going to believe this.
What?
And no one listening is going to believe this.
What is it?
My next question. My next question. Let me show you.
Okay.
Beach hashtag or thunderstorm hashtag?
All right, so I guess we both can answer this then. So you first, because I asked first.
Oh my God.
Favorite place?
The beach with the door open, the wind and the waves and everything coming in.
All right, so my favorite place would also be the beach with the windows open, but thunderstorming outside. There you go.
That's
with
it.
the waves and the thunder and the lightning and all that.
That's
yes,
it.
There you go.
My
windy.
my question for her was beach hashtag or thunderstorm hashtag. Wow.
All right. Your next question.
Mm-hmm.
What is the weirdest documentary you've ever watched?
Oh.
Because you've watched some pretty weird stuff. I'm curious what the weirdest one is.
Oh, I watched a documentary on masturbation.
Did you?
Yeah.
I don't think I was in the room for that one.
You were not. you were not. I watched something about, masturbation. And
Was it like health benefits of, or?
No, it was just like the way people like to masturbate, people talking about how many times they masturbate, people talking about how natural it is and all this stuff. And
wow. Okay. That's weird. I was expecting you to say something like, how they make paper or,
no, I thought that was a given. I watch so many documentaries.
I know you do.
I love documentaries. Well, I mean, you ask. Halloween or Christmas?
Oh, wow. That's a tough one. So Halloween is my favorite holiday, but I love Christmas because of all the movies.
I know. I knew this would be hard for you.
I'm going to have to say Halloween, though. Halloween's got to be my favorite.
I think you're just saying that.
I'm really not, though, because I really like the dressing up and like going out. And if every Halloween could be like it was in Maine with all the kids
right.
and the people putting so much into it and the haunted houses and, it being a real neighborhood thing, then absolutely my favorite.
Yeah. That's my favorite too, because of the movies and stuff.
All right. So out of all the cars you've owned since you started driving, which car was your favorite?
My Dodge Daytona Shelby Z with the 225 50-15 tires and the turbo gauge and the Hurst shifter and
wow. Spoiled much?
Well, no, it was my favorite.
I'm sure it was. It sounds amazing.
It was my favorite. I loved it.
Did you have a name for it?
Tanya.
Wow.
I took the letters off Daytona in the back of my car so make it say Tanya.
Oh, I see. You're clever. That's clever. All right.
If you were visited by a spirit.
Okay.
And they gave you an opportunity to either go visit the little people in their dimension and live with them for a year, or be told all the secrets of the pyramids. Everything. The secrets of when they were built, who built them, why they're here, all this stuff. Which would you do?
I would go live with the little people for a year. I feel like I would end up learning so much more than just that one secret.
Right. I knew that was two of your bigger.
Right.
Your bigger things.
I mean, as much as I want to know,
yeah,
all that stuff, I feel like you couldn't pass up an opportunity to live, in a magical fairyland realm.
Well, I mean, I figured you would love that.
I would.
For a whole year. My God.
Yes, that'd be amazing. All right. So what, in your opinion, is deja vu?
Oh, well, that's a good one. I do have, I guess I should just go with what, right off the top of my head, what I think it is. I think it's psychic bleed through.
Okay.
And I think that it's not the fact that you've lived it before, it's you're living it right now.
So sort of like a premonition type thing?
Not exactly. It's the reason that it feels like you've done this before or you've been here before is because you're actually doing it at the same time. It's lining up exactly with one of your other dimensions.
I see.
Like I believe in alternate dimensions. I believe that every choice we make spins off into another direction.
Right.
And it could have went either way.
I see.
And I think some of those times that we're just so close and the veil is so thin that we kind of bleed over.
Oh, well, that makes sense.
It makes as much sense as anything else because deja vu doesn't make sense.
It really doesn't.
All right. So what's your opinion on Hollow Earth? Do you think that there is something down there? Do you think if there is, what do you think is down there?
Hollow Earth. Honestly, I think I believe in Hollow Earth. I think there really is something going on, even if it's not what, the outlandish things that all the conspiracy theories say. I think that there is an entrance, at the North Pole. And there's a reason why, people aren't allowed to just, I know it's harsh, but there's a reason why they keep that very secretive. So I think there is something to the Hollow Earth theory. I'm not sure I know exactly what's down there. Like, I'm not sure if there's another sun inside the Earth or there's an entire race of reptilians. Although I think the reptilian thing is more plausible than anything else I've heard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I
absolutely think there's something to it. Definitely.
I agree. I think that there's too many stories.
Mm-hmm.
Of, you go back to some of the Viking stories and they sailed and then they go to this place and it's warm and it's,
Mm-hmm.
You go with Admiral Byrd's story, with the South Pole and all this stuff.
Right. All right. Your question. What is your favorite thing to do to kill time? If you just have like an hour to kill and you don't have anything pressing, what's your favorite thing to do? What do you do just to kill the time?
Castle Crush.
Just play the Castle Crush.
It's going to be either Castle Crush or watch a random YouTube documentary type video.
Of course, back to the documentaries.
Well, I mean, it's something I absolutely love.
Mm-hmm.
There's a few like mystery history.
Right.
I love watching those. I love watching a lot of my conspiratorial ones, and
Mm-hmm.
I love watching videos on Jeffrey Epstein not killing himself, things like that. You could still find them if you know where to look.
Right. Okay.
So, you are given an offer for you and I to join the Illuminati.
Ooh.
In doing so, the rest of our life is set. Everything's cool. Eyes wide shut parties, all that kind of fun.
Mm-hmm. Fun.
The only thing is to get to this, $1 billion lifestyle and having all this, you have to partake in a ritual killing of a stranger you've never met. But then everything, once that's done,
right,
everybody's part of it.
Mm-hmm.
But once that's done, your ticket is punched. You have, because they have something on you. So
right. Wow, that's a tough one. I'd like to say no, I wouldn't do it.
Okay. Well, you win the pony. I mean, that's the right answer, right?
Right. And everybody would like to think that they did the right thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't mean that I won't do that if you're listening.
Well, I did say I'd like to think that I wouldn't do it. I mean, you're not in that situation. You don't know what.
That's like the movie where the guy wants to sleep with Demi Moore.
Well, that's what I said. You said you were like, you started it off with like, you're given a proposition or something. And I was like, oh.
Well, like where Robert Redford wants to sleep, like it's like
indecent proposal. Yeah.
And it was like what, $1 million or something like that, or
something like that.
And
it was an old movie. It might have been $100,000. That was $1 million.
And they have to struggle with that.
Right.
It's like they got all these bills and all this stuff. It's like, look, that old man, what kind of damage is he gonna do? I mean, we're talking $1 million, pal.
Oh wow.
No, I'm just playing because, there's a lot more. It's called integrity. Being able to look at yourself at night.
That's right.
And in the morning, and being able to look at your siblings and your partners and all this stuff. So, all right. So, other than the White House, you can't use the White House for this. What are your top 3 paranormal location dream lists? Like, yeah, I got you.
3 places you want to go, but you always say the White House, so the White House.
All right. So, number 3 is the Suicide Forest in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2 is Leap Castle in Ireland.
Right.
And number 1 is the Hoya Forest in Romania.
Oh, wow. That's some hardcore places.
It is, but that's where I would really go. I will go there too.
Mm-hmm. One day.
All 3. I will go there. Suicide Forest, I don't know if I want to straight up do an investigation.
No, but I'd like to see it.
I want to walk through there and feel what would make these poor people, is there something there? I feel like there has to be something there pulling them there.
Right.
And making them go through with it. Mm-hmm. It's horrifying. You can walk through there at any time and find a body. Mm-hmm. Just terrible. And, Leap Castle, it's just more of a challenge because of the elemental. I just really want to be part of that and see that ancient evil for myself. And the Romanian forest, why do we still not have anything grow there? It's like Skinwalker Ranch. You've had UFOs, you've had ethereal beings, and everything's there.
Mm-hmm.
I want to go feel that.
Right.
That's the kind of stuff I want to feel and experience, and I love that.
Mm-hmm.
So I like to be scared, or apprehensive, or find out. So
right.
That's it.
Right. Those are great places.
Thank you. What do you think, when it's all said and done, will be your biggest accomplishment in the paranormal?
Ooh, my biggest accomplishment.
Not personally, like outside
Right.
perception.
Outside perception. That's harder. I don't know, because we have the book,
Mm-hmm.
and we're going to have another book.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, a lot more books.
Right.
By the time it's over. Of course, we have the podcast.
Right.
I feel like for me, the news is a big part of that for me with paranormal. But I'd like to think, personally, I would like to think that people could look back at stuff that we did in the paranormal and say that, I was able to show them how to look at things from all possible angles. Because that's something I always try to do. Like, I always try to look at every angle, every possibility of everything that we see in the paranormal, even when it's, hauntings, like a building. Somebody's like, oh, that's evil because this happened. Well, no, maybe it's not. Maybe it's this, or maybe it's that, or maybe there's these other possibilities that it could be. You got to look at everything.
Right.
So
personally, I think we'll be synonymous with our TV show. But I'm not saying that.
Right. All right. So your next question is, name a movie that made you cry like a baby.
Old Yeller.
That one makes everybody cry. Very sad.
If you could live in any time period, what time period would it be?
You stole my question. If I could live in any time period, I would live in ancient Egypt.
Yeah, so that keeps coming back, right?
It does. It does. Like,
and
what
I
you
already
like is
had
what
that,
you
by
like.
the way. That was already.
Oh, did you already have
Yeah.
that written down?
Yeah.
I mean, we were bound to duplicate questions because we didn't talk about them.
Yeah, I think
so.
we've given the Egypt excuse here.
Yes, I wouldn't mind living in Victorian times.
Yeah.
I think that would be fun too, just because the clothes, like the dresses.
Right. Yeah, I would enjoy that too.
All right. So, what is your least favorite household chore?
Being the bad guy. Being the authoritarian. That has to be the one that finally, when everything's rambunctious and nobody's stopping, has to be the one that
Steps in.
Yeah. That raises the voice and
Mm-hmm.
everybody shuts up.
Mine's the dishes.
Right.
I hate the dishes.
I know. I know. You're in a horrible mood every time you got the dishes going.
I'm like, look at all these dishes. Oh,
Yeah.
it's terrible.
Tell me a time that you know that you've lived before.
Like a past life, something
Mhm.
I know that I did in a
Yeah.
past life. Yeah, unfortunately, I'm pretty sure that I lived through the witch burning times and the drowning and the burning and drowning. Does that sound familiar?
Yeah, and the hanging and the dismembering and
Right. Just because of some of the, things it conjures up for me and the
Mhm.
fears I have now and stuff like that.
birthmarks,
Right.
and witch's mark in your eye. Yeah, I got you.
All right. So, funny enough, you asked me that. My question's not exactly like that. It's a little similar. I wanted to know what your thoughts were on past lives and reincarnation. You believe we come back over and over?
I do. I believe we keep coming back and learning from lessons. I believe we pick what we're coming back as, the lesson we need to learn, all that good stuff until we reach enlightenment. What is the most impressive thing you've seen paranormally?
The most impressive. Wow. Personally, the most impressive thing I have seen is our first event,
Yeah.
because it was so clear, and we've never seen anything quite that clear. All right, so your question is, have you ever had any weird, unexplained, or strange illnesses?
Well, I mean, now, all the time. I hurt constantly. I have for years. Just chronic, horrific. It would keep people in bed. If I complained about it all the time, it would get very tiring. I try not to.
Right.
But, I fight through it and do everything instead. Do everything anyway.
Right.
I believe in that. I believe in perseverance and not letting something dictate what you do. Hands down, what's your favorite thing about John?
my favorite thing about John is that we can joke back and forth and we get each other's humor without having to explain it. He can always make me laugh, with our weird and unexplained. We find the same things funny, maybe is what it is. We're kind of silly that way.
Yes, we are silly. Very silly.
All right. Have you ever seen a little person, like a leprechaun or fairy gnome, something like that? Have you ever seen one with your own eyes?
Wow. Yes. Yes.
Yes, you have.
Thanks, Stacey.
I would like to see one with my own eyes. I've never seen one.
Yes, I've seen both. So, I've unfortunately seen fairies, dark fairies. I've never seen a good one.
Right.
Raja got to hear it too. So I had been experiencing it, and I said, "Oh my God!" And she had heard it. She freaked out. She's like, "Oh my God, I just heard that too," and I didn't think she did. And it was like, yeah. So, all right. So explain your communication with animals that you obviously have, because we can't go anywhere traditionally without having every animal within 100-mile radius show up. And when you talk to animals, are they answering you in your head? Do you talk to them? Do you know and feel?
No. I don't actually. It's not like a pet psychic kind of thing. I do seem to draw animals to me. And I think it's just because I really love animals, and animals can tell that kind of thing. I love petting them. I love seeing them. I make sure they respect their space. But I just have an affinity for, living creatures like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. All right. So what is one piece of furniture you want to own that you don't own now and would like to pass down, to future generations of Edwardses?
A rollback desk for you.
Oh, I really want one of those. That would be something that I owned, but I'll take it.
I would own it too.
I suppose.
If you had a superpower, what would it be?
I never can decide between, I think telekinesis, is the one I would definitely want. I kind of want telepathy too, because I just think that'd be cool. But I really want to be able to move things with my mind. That just seems awesome.
That is cool.
All right. So do you believe that there is really a shadow government that runs the world, and that they're working with aliens and or demons to control everything?
I do. I absolutely do.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that they've got a treaty. I believe that everything that happens is predetermined from them.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't mean that our lives are predetermined. They want them to be. But I believe that it's all planned out. I believe that, even if we had a pandemic or something, I believe that ultimately that was meant to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Things like that. Next question in order.
Okay.
You can have all the government secrets of the shadow government. But
That's so weird.
But you can't share anything, not even of me.
Right.
Would you?
Yes. Because the rule would be that I couldn't share any of the secrets with you, but that doesn't mean I couldn't suggest that we do things to
Right
in a certain way.
Right. I got you.
Without actually telling you the secrets,
All right.
All right. So tell me what one of your guilty pleasures is.
Oh, wow. It's easy.
Mm-hmm.
Period dramas. I like Pride and Prejudice type stuff. I like, the very dramatic.
A lot of Jane Austen movies.
Yeah. Yeah, that's my
That's
guilty.
okay. I like that you like those, because then I get to watch them.
That's my guilty pleasure.
Oh, is that why you're always like, I gotta go see this movie with my wife?
Shut up.
She's making me.
All right, moving on. Are Two of the Stars Academy a bunch of hacks?
Ooh, that's a touchy question. I don't think they started out to be. I think it was well-intentioned when it started, but I think that something has happened along the way. I don't know if somebody got to them, or, they just couldn't handle the pressure, but I don't think that they're as well-intentioned now as they were, especially now that they work with the government,
right,
instead of in lieu of the government. So I don't want to say that I think that they're just hacks, because I really don't think that it started that way.
Right. Okay.
I think it was real. All right. So cattle mutilation Aliens? Cults? Government? What do you think?
It's absolutely ETs.
100%, huh?
Yeah, 100%. It's ETs. If the government was going to do it, they wouldn't be as clean.
True.
Or they would just buy a freaking bunch of cattle that nobody knew about. That's the part that always bothered me with people going, well, I'm not sure if it's the government. Why would they kill your cow, Ted?
They could just buy their own
They
cow.
could buy their own damn cows and have them in their own damn field that you never see. Instead, they're going to rope your cow, pull it up to a helicopter that makes no noise, surgically precision cut it for no reason,
Right.
and then drop it.
What if the experiment is not cattle mutilation? What if the experiment is the reaction of the people to the cattle mutilation?
I'm not going to answer that question.
Looking at things from all angles.
Not going to answer that question. All right. Is the Arthurian legend actually real?
Yes, I think it is. I think even if it's not exactly like the story says, there is something to that legend, something that they don't want you to know.
Smoke, fire, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. We're almost done here. Did you realize that?
I did.
All right. So your next question is, what is your favorite thing about Stacey?
Oh, wow.
I'm fishing for a compliment here.
Well, the thing is, the compliments are they're so good that I don't think I can say them on the air. Let me think for a second.
PG compliments here. PG-13 compliments.
It's hard really to pinpoint something because I love basically everything about you, but if you're looking, if we were looking on the physical side of it, the fact that you get better with time.
Aww.
Seriously. And it's kind of your positive spin on things. A lot of times the way that you keep everybody together. Mm-hmm. There's so many things there, but essentially it's just everything. It's just, we won't have another episode like this. So
No.
I can just say it, it's everything. I just love you.
I love you too, baby. All right. I think we're down to our last question.
All right. Last question.
All right.
Vampire or werewolf?
Werewolf.
Werewolf.
Only because werewolves aren't undead.
Right.
They're still alive. And
this goes back to the whole hashtag thing, don't it?
Vampires. Well, no, but vampires won't age and you'll get older and they won't. I think werewolves do age.
Well, unless they invite you.
This is true. I guess if you decide you want to be a vampire would be the way to go. Then you could be together forever.
Yeah. Without aging.
Vampires are also cold.
They are cold.
And werewolves are not. And I'm cold all the time. So I don't know if I need that extra, iciness.
Werewolf's more you. It's just, a quick burnout, Let's be warm, but let's, just flame out. So.
All right. Your last question.
All right.
What type of paranormal legacy do you want to leave behind?
My answer to that is Ed and Lorraine Warren. That's except without any baggage, without people coming out later and going, this or that, the thought of Ed and Lorraine, the way that I like to remember them and envision them. When I was a kid, they were the couple that was always on the shows together.
Right.
And I always thought that was so freaking awesome. And I just want that. I want to be remembered with us being the people that were called in, or us doing this. And we've got so much time left to even the earliest I remember Ed and Lorraine, they looked older than we look now. So
right.
They might have been in their 20s, but God didn't treat them well. And
it's the smoking.
Yeah, that's a legacy for me. Is something we do together in this field. I want us to, go as far as we can together. And
so when people think about you, they think about us
instantly.
Right.
Instantly.
Gotcha.
It's not John. It's John and Stacey.
Oh, I like that.
All right. Well, that's your special edition
Yes.
And the cool thing about it is a couple days from now, you're going to have a proper episode come out. So, this is one for the fans anyway. This is one for the people that already love us and we love you and all
now
this
you
stuff.
know more than you ever wanted to know
Yes.
about John and Stacey.
Yes. And for the patrons, we're going to put this out as the dirty edition with 50 questions that you would probably make your
Make you blush in the dark.
make you blush in the dark. I like that. I guess you could blush in the dark regardless, but
You could.
Where you're talking about where you can see it like Rudolph. And,
Right.
Yeah. Oh, anyway. Once again, I'm not going to say all kinds of stuff here, but I will say paranormalsideshow.com. That's your address to go find everything cool. And facebook.com, go there, give us a like, /Paranormal Sideshow, of course. Go subscribe somewhere. Just make sure
Anywhere.
Make sure you see us on there. Spacedoutradio.com. You can find us every Saturday night, and we'll be doing our thing live. And you need to check that out because it's really cool, kids. For my lovely wife, my name's John. Happy 100th. We love you guys. So long.
Good night.